Chapter 51. Wang Lan left, but the expressions of the two people in the office were still solemn and deathly silent. Isn't that a bit too much? It is indeed a bit too much. Even Yin Emperor didn't go that far. Why don't we kill him? He's so evil that he doesn't give others a way out. You do it. I'll write a note. Hey, do you want me to die? Then what nonsense are you talking about? But I really didn't expect. Didn't expect what? I didn't expect you to be willing to give him the flaming blade. At this moment, I realized that you, Lauer, aren't that annoying. You already gave him the nebulous sword dance. If I don't give him the flaming blade, what will the brothers in other places think of me? You and I were entrusted by Yin Emperor to stay in Sioux City to take care of Wang Lan. You're generous, but I'm stingy? How can I raise my head in front of the brothers in the future? Wait a minute. You tricked me? He Mingxue suddenly realized the problem. He stared straight at Wang Qianfeng and gritted his teeth. I tricked you? Does the law enforcement department always like to accuse people of crimes? You giving him the nebulous sword dance is forcing me to give him the flaming blade. Who forced you? You didn't have to give it. Wang Qianfeng snorted and turned back to his desk. He's already gone. What are you still doing here? Drink tea. I'm going to work. You do your work. I'll drink tea. Do you know that this is the office of the head of the intelligence department? As the head of the law enforcement department, you should know that the head of the intelligence department deals with confidential information. Other than the director, no one can come in contact with it. Don't scare me with this. Do you think I'm scared? Although his mouth was tough, his body was very honest. Although the Heavenly Sword Bureau is about to be expanded, the official documents haven't been issued yet. You better take it easy. He Mingxue left after saying that. Suddenly, Wang Qianfeng's face changed. His figure flashed and appeared in front of the cabinet. Looking at the empty cabinet, Wang Qianfeng's face instantly turned dark. A loud roar exploded out of the office. Lao, my premium tea leaves 1 or 200. After leaving the Heavenly Sword Bureau, Wang Lan walked on the streets of the financial center that seemed to be bustling, but also seemed to be extremely deep. It was bustling because it was the financial center of Sioux City. All the headquarters of the banks, financial exchanges, and even the largest stock market were located here. But in terms of depth, other than a few street sweepers, there was no one else on the streets, even if it was during the summer holidays. Occasionally, 1 or 2 chain stores could be seen, but the lobby was also crowded. Wang Lan had never been here before. After being curious at first, he gradually lost interest. He turned on his phone and searched for directions. Then, he walked to the nearest bus stop. Suddenly, the signboard of a shop entered Wang Lan's eyes. Dragon Spring Sword Pavilion. Although he had the flaming blade Takashi Hoshi skill, it was a pity that he couldn't use the nebulous sword dance at the same time when he used the flaming blade. And to use the nebulous sword dance, how could he do it without a sword in his hand? Actually, Wang Lan also knew that swordsmen's weapons were custom-made. Even if it was not a swordsman or a Takashi Hoshi who used a sword, their swords were all specially made. Only those who weren't in the mainstream or who were only used as backups would use standard equipment. Previously, when they fought, the 8-faced Han sword was beaten to a pulp by the alloy bat. The memory was still fresh in his mind. Should he use this kind of sword on the battlefield in the future? Wang Lan felt that he couldn't afford to lose face like this. Thinking about this, Wang Lan didn't hesitate to walk into the Dragon Spring Sword Pavilion. Hello, customer. Do you want to see the sword? There was only one lady in the shop. The lady had an ancient hairstyle and was wearing a beautiful ancient costume. Ting Ting stood up, giving Wang Lan the illusion that he had returned to ancient times. Yes, I have long heard of the Dragon Spring Sword's name and came here out of admiration. Many thanks for the honor, young master. Young master, this way please. The lady in the ancient costume slightly bowed and greeted him. Young master, are you a Takashi Hoshi? Is there a difference? If you aren't, I'll sell you an ornamental sword without a sharp edge. If it is, then it'll be a real killing weapon. This is my Takashi Hoshi certificate. Please take a look. The lady took the Takashi Hoshi certificate and looked at it. Her eyes were filled with gentleness. This was the same all over the world. It didn't matter if beauties loved heroes or if Takashi Hoshi had a high social status. In any case, Takashi Hoshi were sought after by ordinary people. If a lady could gain the favor of a Takashi Hoshi, she would most likely not refuse. In terms of personal fighting ability and earning ability, Takashi Hoshi were far superior to ordinary people. However, Takashi Hoshi could earn money, but they could also eat. To this day, Wang Lan still couldn't understand how Takashi Hoshi were able to blend into ordinary society without causing an imbalance. In any case, Wang Lan's thoughts from his previous life were that Takashi Hoshi were a huge group of people, and women loved to marry Takashi Hoshi. Wouldn't ordinary men die out quickly? However, the truth was that the number of women who married Takashi Hoshi was extremely small. Even if one were to plot against it, the possibility of it happening was low. Young master, do you have any requirements for the length and weight of the sword? Are you used to using your left hand or right hand? I don't have any requirements, right? Why don't you pick a few for me to try? Wang Lan was indeed clueless. The first time he had used a sword was the 8-sided Han sword. All right, this is the Abyss Condensing Sword forged by the master of our Dragon Spring Sword Pavilion. This sword combines the advantages of a sword and a saber. It can cut and stab, but it's a little heavy. It's strenuous to wield it with one hand, and the hilt is clearly broken when wielding it with two hands. If young master has extraordinary arm strength, you can give it a try. Let me take a look, the girl said as she held the sword with both hands. It seemed that it was indeed strenuous for her. The girl was only about 1.6 meters tall, but she actually swayed unsteadily while holding the sword. Miss, be careful. Wang Lan hurriedly stretched out his hand. Fortunately, he was quick-witted and didn't touch the girl's body. Instead, he grabbed the hilt to share the weight of the sword. Under the girl's somewhat resentful gaze, Wang Lan pulled out the Abyss Condensing Sword. The body of the sword was translucent with beautiful patterns. The sword was also very heavy, about 20 jin. It would indeed be difficult for an ordinary person to wield a sword with one hand. However, it seemed that this girl had never sold a Takashi Hoshi before. A Takashi Hoshi, even a woman, had strength far surpassing that of an ordinary man. Although Wang Lan was thin and weak, his strength had exceeded 20, which was twice the upper limit of an ordinary person's strength. He didn't feel anything with the sword in his hand. Wang Lan tried to swing it. The whistling sound of the wind instantly filled the shop. Wang Lan frowned. Young master, you're not satisfied? The sound of the wind when this sword is swung is too strong. This means that the wind resistance of the sword is very high. Is it not designed with a flow of air? Our Dragon Spring Sword, is based on traditional craftsmanship. Even if it's based on traditional craftsmanship, it has to keep pace with the times. Not all traditions are good. Although the sword body is beautiful, I want to use it for actual combat. Then, how about this two-handed sword? The girl walked over to a 1-meter-long sword that was inserted into the sword rack. With a clang, she pulled it out. It's so heavy. Help me carry it. Wang Lan immediately quivered. He stared at the girl's doll-like, delicate face. You can't carry it at this time? I just saw you pull it out in one breath. Could it be that this is the legendary person who can't open a bottle cap when she's weak, but can open the top of her skull when she's angry? Could it be that a Vajra's body was hidden under this ancient costume? Wang Lan swallowed his saliva and took the two-handed sword. He could accept the weight of less than 25 kilograms, but you want me to swing the two-handed sword like a windmill with such an elegant nebulous sword dance? That's not good, right? Young master, are you not satisfied? It's okay. Dragon Spring Sword Pavilion will customize the weapon according to the customer's request. Please tell me your request. I can arrange for it to be customized. If it's fast, it can be done in half a month. Oh, okay. Wang Lan put the sword back into the scabbard. The sword just needs to be of normal length. It's a one-handed sword that weighs between 20 to 15 kilograms, but it must be sharp and able to withstand heavy blows. It won't bend when cutting hard objects. When swinging it, there must be little air resistance. Boss, do you accept swords here? At this moment, a person as thin as a bamboo pole came into the shop and asked in a loud voice. I'm sorry, sir. Can you wait for a while? I have to serve this customer first. Our shop accepts swords. Okay. That person didn't say anything else. He sat quietly by the counter and placed a short sword that was only 2 feet long on the counter. Young master, can you leave your contact details? We will contact you when it's done. Perhaps the other party was a little surprised by the way the girl addressed him, so he looked at Wang Lan. At this moment, Wang Lan's eyes were fixed on the sword in the other party's hand. Wait, brother, you want to sell this sword? Yes, you like it. Can I take a look? The other party let go of the sword, and Wang Lan took it out of the scabbard. The shape of the sword was very strange. It gave people a feeling that it had been twisted. But this was just an optical illusion. The sword was still straight. The blade was very thick, about 3 centimeters thick. Because of this, the sword seemed especially heavy. The blade and the hilt were made of metal. Wang Lan tried to swing the sword. As he danced, the air flowed rapidly around the blade, producing a sharp whistling sound. But the position of the whistling sound was actually offset from the position of the sword. It was really an indecent sword. If some swordsman practiced using this sword to determine the position of the sword by listening, he would probably die an unjust death. And when he danced, Wang Lan didn't feel any air resistance. This was a sword that was completely suitable for battle and was very insidious. Does this sword have a name? Ghost Weep. Appropriate. How much is it? The other party looked at Wang Lan from head to toe. He was wearing very ordinary jeans, a short-sleeved windbreaker, and a white t-shirt. The t-shirt was also very ordinary, as if he bought it from a street stall for 20 or 30 yuan. Little brother, this sword is passed down from my ancestors. Although it's not an antique, it has a history of 70 years. It has been on the battlefield and killed demons. The price is definitely not cheap. Are you sure you want it? Tell me the price first. If I can accept it, I'll take it. 100,000 yuan. I won't sell it below 100,000 yuan. Okay. Wang Lan didn't even bargain back. Give me your account number. I'll transfer the money to you now. The little girl in the shop stared at the 2 people in anger. She blatantly made a deal in her shop, but they didn't seem to do anything wrong. It's just that the occasion is a bit bad. You can't open a business and say, if you want to trade, please leave. The little girl cursed in her heart. Suddenly, she thought of something and stared at the thin bamboo pole. You certainly won't take the initiative to pay the tax. Should I report you? Well, this sword is yours. The other party simply stood up and turned away. He was even more anxious than Wang Lan. That, little brother, do you still want your customized sword? Seeing Wang Lan leaving, the little girl eagerly asked. That, sorry, I'm quite satisfied with this sword. Why don't you customize a spare of the same model for me? Okay, I'll take a picture. Chapter 52. Walking out of the store, a red sports car suddenly stopped in front of Wang Lan. The car window rolled down, revealing Jiang Sinyu's smiling face. Wang Lan, what a coincidence. Classmate Jiang, are you sure it's a coincidence and not you following me? Jiang Sinyu's smile immediately disappeared. Do you think I'm that bored? You say it like you haven't done it before. Hey, are you a man or not? No. Wang Lan decisively denied. I'm just a boy. Get in. The car door opened, and Wang Lan got in without hesitation. Seeing Wang Lan get in the car without hesitation, Jiang Sinyu smiled again. Didn't you think I was the legendary female driver? How dare you get in the car? You're not the legendary female driver. You're the female driver right in front of me. Last time you used your life to prove that you really can drive. This time I won't say anything. Take me home. The car started, and it actually drove forward slowly. Huh, turn right at my house. I have something to do first, Jiang Sinyu calmly replied. Wang Lan tilted his head and looked out the window. It didn't feel like the car was going that fast, but it was already going 60 kilometers per hour. On the city roads, 60 kilometers per hour was a very fast speed. Actually, I didn't mean to spy on you. I just wanted to know how you usually study. After a long time, Jiang Sinyu suddenly spoke. I lost every test. I cried every time I did. All the tears I've shed in my life have been for you. Wang Lan couldn't help but shudder when she heard this resentful voice. In his mind, 2 extremes appeared. One was Jiang Sinyu's affectionate confession. The other was the dark version raising a hatchet I asked Xingbing to hack into your computer for me because I wanted to see how you study. After all, to defeat an enemy, you have to understand everything about them. To be treated as an enemy by Sinew. I'm flattered. Don't misunderstand. You know what I mean by enemy. Understand. Who did you admire when you were young? But I really didn't expect that you would take it seriously. I didn't take it seriously before, but after losing so many times, I gradually took it seriously. If I can't even beat you once, how can I, Jiang Sinew, be proud and complacent? What was the point of having so many trophies and medals? I haven't even gotten first place once. The atmosphere fell silent again. I'm sorry. Suddenly, Jiang Sinew turned to look at Wang Lan and said solemnly, "Watch the road. I'm sorry. I really didn't do it on purpose. At that time, I was young and didn't know any better. Later, when I found out that it was an invasion of your privacy, I was very afraid. I was afraid that you would really get angry and even break off our friendship. There was a period of time when I was very worried. These 2 years, I didn't dare to see you. Xinu, can you please look at the road you're driving?" Wang Lan's face turned pale. "You still dare to say that you're not the legendary female driver? Your female driver is even scarier than the legends." Suddenly, the car made a sharp turn and avoided the guardrail at the fork in the road. For a moment, Wang Lan's heart was in his mouth. "Xinu, don't drive anymore." After the car was back under control, Wang Lan patted his chest and sighed. "I'm not usually like this. Today was just an accident. Like hell, I'll believe you. I forgive you." Wang Lan quickly replied, afraid that Jiang Sinew would do it again. "After I found out that Bing Shui was you, I didn't blame you. At that time, you were only 12 or 13 years old. Kids don't know any better. Also, without Bing Shui, Xiao AI classmate wouldn't have come out. It's okay. But Xiao AI classmate has been chasing Bing Shui for years. Last month, Bing Shui went out of the country for a stroll. 10 minutes after he appeared, Xiao AI followed closely behind. If Bing Shui didn't place a warning bomb in advance, Bing Shui would have been caught. That was the command I gave to Xiao AI 3 years ago. I went back and canceled the command. Actually, artificial intelligence can grow faster by interacting with each other. The reason why Xiao AI and Bing Shui can grow so fast is because of the years of chasing. The record of them running into each other every year is more than 100 times. Every year, their intelligence is improving significantly. Bing Shui is a copy program on my company's smart computer. But in just 3 years, Bing Shui's intelligence has far surpassed his original body. The two of us accidentally fooled around and seem to have created 2 amazing things. Really? Anyway, my Xiao AI classmate is my butler. You can't have any ideas about him. I won't hand him over to anyone. Bing Shui is also my child. I won't hand him over either. The car stopped at the entrance of the Takashi Hoshi Hall. "What are you doing here?" "To buy Takashi Hoshi skills. Since I've successfully advanced to Nebula, my Takashi Hoshi skills have to keep up. Today, there are a few new A-grade Takashi Hoshi skills on the market. You can improve yourself. Keep up with Takashi Hoshi skills? Are you saying that after reaching a certain level, you can only improve by learning new Takashi Hoshi skills? What about the old Takashi Hoshi skills? Of course. Why are there 5 levels of Takashi Hoshi skills? Isn't it because Takashi Hoshi skills have different levels of power? C-grade Takashi Hoshi skills have C-grade power. A-grade Takashi Hoshi skills have A-grade power. Of the Takashi Hoshi skills that I know, only one is a win-grade A-grade Takashi Hoshi skill. The rest are all B-grade. This time, I'll buy a few A-grade Takashi Hoshi skills and try to learn them before school starts. Is that so? What if I upgrade the B-grade Takashi Hoshi skills to A-grade? How is that possible? Jiang Sinew unbuckled her seatbelt and got out of the car. She looked at Wang Lan with a puzzled expression. Do you know how much understanding of Takashi Hoshi skills needs to be in order to display the power of a high-level Takashi Hoshi skill from a low-level Takashi Hoshi skill? In martial arts novels, it's to turn something rotten into something magical. This is a skill that can be mastered by the celestial realm. We're just ordinary people. Wang Lan got out of the car as well, his eyes flashing. He seemed to be different from the others. A Takashi Hoshi skill might have a limit for others, but it didn't seem to be the case for him. As long as he had enough skill points, he could upgrade his close-range combat skills to gold or even platinum. Wang Lan tried to imagine what it would be like to have a platinum-level close-range combat skill. Shattering the sky with a punch and shattering the earth with a stomp? What would it be like to dream about reaching the diamond level? What if he reached the king level? Would he be able to unleash a true light-speed punch? Then he would really be a one-punch man. His future seemed to be limitless. The only thing he was worried about was whether he could live that long in the future. He followed Jiang Xinyu to the Takashi Hoshi Clubhouse. The Takashi Hoshi Clubhouse sales area had a soul orb sales area and a Takashi Hoshi skill sales area. Every customer would be given a tablet by the service staff. Then, they could choose what they needed from the tablet. Early level soul orb, 80,000 for one. He dares to sell it for 80,000 when the recovery price is only 1,000? Isn't this too much? Wang Lan clicked on the soul orb section and was stunned. The country wants to give benefits to Takashi Hoshi. There are more than 2 million Takashi Hoshi in the country. This is a huge financial expenditure. If it's not too much, most of the lower-level Takashi Hoshi will have to work hard. You didn't see the price of a mid-level soul orb that costs 300,000 and a high-level soul orb that costs 1 million. That's so expensive. Which Takashi Hoshi can afford it? So those who can afford are basically the old Takashi Hoshi families with hundreds or thousands of years of history. Even for us, money can only be used as a supplement. We still have to rely on ourselves to improve. Jiang Xinyu focused on selecting Takashi Hoshi skills. Wang Lan also opened the Takashi Hoshi skills to look at. The Takashi Hoshi Clubhouse's Takashi Hoshi skills were mostly D and C grade. There were only a few B grade and above. There were only a dozen or so A grade, and only 3 new A grade skills were on the market. Among the dozen B grade skills, 2 were fire, 1 was wind, and 1 was thunder. There were also non-elemental Takashi Hoshi skills. Takashi Hoshi skills were divided into elemental and non-elemental. Elemental Takashi Hoshi skills could only be learned by those with elemental attributes. On the other hand, non-elemental Takashi Hoshi skills could theoretically be learned by anyone. However, one should not assume that non-elemental skills were not as powerful as elemental skills. Takashi Hoshi skills with and without elemental attributes were relatively similar in terms of power. As for the difficulty of learning, it was easiest to learn the elemental Takashi Hoshi skills. Non-elemental Takashi Hoshi skills were mostly high-level applications of star power. The requirements for Takashi Hoshi were very high. Either you were talented enough or you were hardworking enough. As for the A-grade Takashi Hoshi skills, which were the 2 skills that Wang Lan had just learned, the cheapest one was 5 million yuan. As expected, it was not something that ordinary people could afford. Jiang Xinyu's personality was straightforward and decisive. The 4 A-grade Takashi Hoshi skills seemed to be prepared for Jiang Xinyu. They were packaged directly and cost 20 million yuan. How inhumane. You're not buying? I saw a lot of C-grade Takashi Hoshi skills that suit you, Jiang Xinyu whispered. Forget it. Why? Once you've seen the sea, you're no water. Once you've seen Mount Wu, you're no cloud. Jiang Xinyu blushed and rolled her eyes at Wang Lan flirtatiously. Sister, you've misunderstood. I meant it literally, didn't I? I just learned 2 A-grade Takashi Hoshi skills. Do you think I'll be interested in these C-grade skills? Among the A-grade Takashi Hoshi skills, there was nothing that Wang Lan wanted. After leaving the Takashi Hoshi hall, Jiang Xinyu sent Wang Lan home. Before they parted ways, Jiang Xinyu called out to Wang Lan. You should work hard this semester. The theory class ended in the 2nd year. The 3rd year is mainly for sprinting for the provincial martial art competition and the college entrance exam. Although your strength is not bad, it's best if you practice a few Takashi Hoshi skills. Star Blazing can already display the power of Takashi Hoshi skills. I'll be in seclusion for the rest of the month. You'll have to work hard for the 2 years you fell behind. Got it. Be careful on the road. Jiang Xinyu closed the car door. Her face was a little angry. Pig trotter. Wang Lan turned around and returned to the sinew building. Of the many skill points he was rewarded, half of them were spent on Nebula Sword Dance to Silver Level 5. The remaining 200 were spent on Inch Punch to Silver Level 2, Flaming Blade to Silver Level 1, and the remaining 200 were spent on Basic Combat and Body Movement. All his skills were at Silver Level, but his skill points were all used up. He had just joined the Heavenly Sword Bureau, so he shouldn't have anything to do so soon. Earning skill points and leveling up should be put aside for now. The most important thing was to catch up on his classes. He needed to spend a month catching up on the 2 years of Takashi Hoshi classes. This was a very difficult task. The teaching materials that he bought with his Takashi Hoshi card had already been delivered. They were piled up in the study room, occupying an entire square meter. If he couldn't catch up with the average level of the 3rd year, Wang Lan would have to start all over again from the 1st year. This was something that Wang Lan absolutely couldn't accept. I thought that after awakening the system, I would be able to say goodbye to those years of churning through a sea of questions. The revolution hasn't succeeded yet. I still have to work hard. Chapter 53. Fortunately, Wang Lan had long been accustomed to the boring study life. He could endure the loneliness and mastered his own set of study methods. For a month, he woke up at 6 o'clock every day, went to bed at 10 o'clock, and had 3 meals a day. After a full month, he finally went through all 3 years' worth of teaching materials. But did he really master it after going through it once? Wang Lan could only say that he had mastered the basic level. If he wanted to catch up with Jiang Xinyu and Su Xiangwen, he would have to spend another half a year practicing and understanding repeatedly. Learning was never something that could be done overnight. But it was time for school to start. 2 days ago, Wang Lan received the admission notice from Sioux City No. 1 Middle School's Takashi Hoshi campus. It said that the admission class was Grade 12 Class 1. He didn't know if it was Jiang Xinyu's doing or if it was arranged by the school itself. Wang Lan's house was not far from Sioux City No. 1 Middle School. He usually walked to school, and if he could squeeze in a bus, he would take it. Today, because school had started, every bus was packed, so Wang Lan walked to school leisurely. After being in the same school for 2 years, this was the first time Wang Lan entered Takashi Hoshi campus. When he arrived at the entrance, he saw Jiang Xinyu in a white dress leaning against the door and looking at him. Beside Jiang Xinyu, Su Xiangwen and Gong Feiyu were talking about something with their arms around each other's shoulders. Wang Lan strode forward. "You guys are here so early? Lan Zi, you're here? What early?" Everyone woke up early on the first day of school. "Lan Zi, you're the only one who's like an old cadre. You're as steady as an old dog all year round." He followed the 3 of them into Class 1. Almost half of the class was already there. Wang Lan could clearly feel that many eyes were on him. After 2 years of being classmates, the sudden appearance of an unfamiliar face would of course attract extra attention. Only the students in junior high and elementary school held Wang Lan in high regard. High school students in the same batch might have heard of Wang Lan's name, but most of them didn't know what he looked like. "Where should I sit?" Jiang Xinyu pointed at a seat not far away. That used to be Wang Yul's seat. When Wang Lan put down his bag and sat down, there was a buzz among the teachers. Wang Lan secretly sized up the class. As expected of the Takashi Hoshi campus, there were so many weirdos. Some of them had their hair dyed in various colors. Some of them were dressed in non-mainstream clothing, and there were even a few punks in the corner of the classroom. The ratio of men to women was very balanced, but their hairstyles were very distinctive. Wang Lan's image was supposed to be drowned out by the crowd, but in this classroom, he was an anomaly. Wang Lan picked up her book and started reading quietly. After some time, the bell rang for the start of class. Outside the classroom, the sexy female teacher walked into the classroom in high heels. "Students, we haven't seen each other for a summer vacation. Did you miss Teacher Ju? I think, especially in the dead of night, I'm getting moldy from staying at home. All right, now I'm going to announce a serious piece of news. Our classmate Wang Yul, when he was training in the training grounds during the summer vacation, he unintentionally discovered the plot of the demon race's spies to destroy the Ting Forest training grounds. Classmate Wang Yul didn't turn a blind eye to it. Instead, He bravely stood up for the sake of the nation and followed them. He was careless and was discovered. Then he was hunted down by the demons and sacrificed himself gloriously. Although he sacrificed himself, he successfully passed the information to the training grounds garrison. As a result, the demons' plot was foiled by the training grounds garrison. The demons' forces in the training grounds were completely wiped out by us humans. While celebrating our victory, let us give a round of applause to our martyr, classmate Wang Yul. Crisp applause rang out. Wang Lan had forgotten to ask if there would be any trouble with Wang Yul's death. Now it seemed that there wouldn't be any trouble. To the general public, your death was great and worthy. All right, then there's another piece of news to tell everyone. From today onwards, our class has a new classmate. Classmate Wang Lan, please stand up and greet your classmates. Hello, everyone. My name is Wang Lan. Everyone may have heard of my name before. I'm Wang Lan from the campus next door. Please take care of me in the future. Prodigy? Why are you here? Damn, could it be that the campus next door can no longer accommodate you? Prodigy, please tell me loudly. Is your awakened Takashi Hoshi innate skill learning? Your Majesty, Prodigy, the heavy responsibility of raising the average score of our class in the future depends on you. Although it was the Takashi Hoshi class, they were indeed the same as the third-year students in the campus next door. They were all a bunch of idiotic teenagers. Classmate Wang Lan, please sit down. Classmate Wang Lan awakened the Takashi Hoshi innate skill during the summer vacation this year. Logically speaking, classmate Wang Lan should start in the first year of high school. However, after the school's discussion and research, in view of classmate Wang Lan's excellent results in the past, they decided to let him directly enter the third year of high school. I think with classmate Wang Lan's ability, you should be able to catch up in the cultural classes, right? I don't think it's a big problem. Wang Lan nodded and smiled confidently. As a prodigy, I'm invincible in the field of learning. Yes, the school also has an additional arrangement for you. If your academic performance in the second half of the semester does not meet the expectations, the school will make an exception and let you repeat a year. I hope classmate Wang Lan doesn't mind. In the eyes of the school leaders, you are a seated student of the 4 major schools. Because of your transfer, the principal of the campus next door almost fought with our principal. The classroom burst into laughter. All right, let's start the roll call. The classes in the Takashi Hoshi campus were very relaxed. This was something that would never happen in the campus next door. In a normal high school, don't even talk about being tense during class. They didn't even dare to relax after class. Every student and every teacher was racing against time. When the bell rang, the students either left the classroom or gathered in 2s and 3s to chat. How is it? Are you used to it? Jiang Sinyu's voice sounded. It's surprisingly easy. At this moment, Wang Lan noticed a girl with long orange-red hair who was 2 rows behind her slowly and hesitantly moved over. The girl looked sweet and had a tall and slender figure. Perhaps she was a bit shy, but when she came to Jiang Sinyu's side, she hesitated to speak. Jiang Sinyu acted as if she didn't see it, but Wang Lan turned around and looked at the girl with some confusion. Classmate CSCC? Jiang Sinyu turned her head and asked indifferently. Sinyu, Wang Yul died. Is there a vacancy in your team? I want to ask. Jiang Sinyu's eyes flashed with a trace of pity as she slowly shook her head. You're too weak. Sinyu, I'm actually very hardworking. During the summer break, I successfully broke through to the late stage of the star stage. Also, I'm talented in controlling star power. I won't be a burden. Your strength isn't the main problem. Our team is already full. Jiang Sinyu helplessly shook her head. Is that so? Then, I'm sorry for bothering you. CSCC's tone was very downcast as she silently turned around and left. Sinyu, Wang Lan waited until CSCC left before whispering to Jiang Sinyu. Lan Zi, now you know where Sinyu got her title of Ice Queen, right? Cold as ice, cold as snow, merciless and merciless, your majesty. Su Xiangwen lightly laughed as he teased. Entering the training grounds with the strength of the heavenly body tier is suicide. Also, I can't always take care of her. Rather than being soft-hearted and leading her into a desperate situation, I might as well cut off her thoughts now. Wang Lan silently nodded. Sometimes, being soft-hearted didn't mean being good to others. Being heartless was also a form of caring. I say, class rep, you really don't know your place. You're really going up there. Us commoners are nothing in her eyes. Luckily, she rejected you. If she didn't reject you, I'm afraid you won't even know how you died. At this time, one of the 4 people in the class suddenly called out in a sarcastic tone. Songbo, what do you mean? I wouldn't dare. I wouldn't dare. What do I mean? Wang Yul definitely entered the training grounds with you 3. The 3 of you came out alive, but he died without knowing why. TSK, TSK, TSK. Who knows how he died? Songbo, do you have a death wish? Why don't you go to the field to practice in the afternoon? Su Xiangwen suddenly shouted angrily at the row of tables. Does young master Su only know how to reason with 2 big swords? Squad leader Xia, I advise you not to be snubbed in the future. They're rich young masters, and we're commoners. We have to know our place. Who's eating lemons? Wang Lan suddenly shouted as he fanned himself hard. Eating lemons? Who's that? If no one eats lemons, why is there such a strong, sour smell in the air? It seems like the academic prodigy has a problem with what I said. Songbo laughed coldly. That's true. The academic prodigy who entered the classroom with them should also be rich young masters, right? Don't spread rumors. I'm very poor. It's just that you've been spouting nonsense since the beginning. I can't stand it anymore. How am I spouting nonsense? Why don't you tell me? Why is Wang Yul dead, but the 3 of them are still alive? How can you be sure that Wang Yul wasn't killed by them? Wang Yul was killed by demon spies. There's official news and announcements about it, so it shouldn't be fake, right? As for why Jiang Xinyu, Su Xiangwen, and the other 2 are fine, isn't it obvious? They're strong, so they survived. Wang Yul's level was too low, so of course he didn't survive. What's wrong? Is your logic that the strong have a low survival rate? That's illogical. Also, you said that commoners are nothing in the eyes of rich young masters. Are there rich young masters and commoners in Jade State? Who in the class would like to speak up? Who has ever bragged about being from a wealthy family? Is it wrong to have a superior family background? I've never heard of anyone from a superior family background claiming to be rich and looking down on commoners. Instead, I've heard it all from you. Jiang Xinyu and the others didn't say that they're rich, but you call yourselves commoners. It seems like you're the one who really looks down on commoners. As for you saying that you're nothing in the eyes of Jiang Xinyu, that's even more wrong. I think that you're still nothing in Jiang Xinyu's heart. Otherwise, she should have ignored your nonsense. Huh. Brilliant, too brilliant. Brother, you're wrong. How can you be nothing? You can still be considered a fart. Ha ha ha. I'm dying of laughter. The prodigy's ability to scold others is indeed extraordinary. The students in the classroom suddenly burst into laughter. However, Songbo and the other 3 were trembling with anger. You're courting death. Songbo was about to rush forward when the temperature in the classroom suddenly dropped. Ding-ling-ling. At this moment, the bell rang. Chapter 54. The bell for class rang, and all the students who were watching the fun returned to their seats. Takashi Hoshi class had 3 cultural classes in the morning and martial arts classes in the afternoon. The Takashi Hoshi teachers were hired by the school to teach basic fighting skills. Lunch after lunch, Wang Lan habitually walked up to the rooftop. He was used to relaxing like this. After a period of study, standing on the rooftop and looking into the distance, the feeling of the wind blowing his hair was very relaxing. When Wang Lan arrived at the rooftop, he was shocked to find 4 reclining chairs on the rooftop. Each reclining chair was accompanied by a parasol. Su Xiangwen and Gong Feiyu were already lying on the reclining chairs, reading a magazine. The straw of the cola was placed next to Su Xiangwen's mouth. Gulp, gulp. The atmosphere of the rooftop was instantly destroyed, leaving only the rich taste of the golden beach. Wang Lan, you're late. Su Xiangwen gently picked up his dark sunglasses. How is it? Are you satisfied? Wang Lan took a deep breath and came to the edge of the rooftop. The school district in the distance was in front of him. The feng shui treasure place that I carefully selected has been destroyed by you two. Why did you put up reclining chairs on a rooftop? And a parasol? How about this? How about you put up a barbecue grill? Makes sense. I'm tired of eating takeout every day. Feiyu, can you get some ingredients tomorrow and we'll barbecue ourselves? Damn, are you serious? Wang Lan didn't realize that these two were so pretentious before. Does your family own this rooftop? It's not my family's, but this building was built by Sinyu's family, so only we have the right to use the rooftop. Otherwise, why do you think we're the only ones who can put up reclining chairs and parasols in such a good place? Huh? Wang Lan expressed that he didn't have a common language with them. He came to the reclining chair next to Su Xiangwen and sat down. Xiangwen, what's the situation in class? Su Xiangwen slowly moved the magazine away. Are you asking about Songbo, Wu Xiaowei, and the others? Not all of them. There are also those so-called commoners and wealthy families. I feel that there are only 50 people in our class, but they are divided into 7 or 8 groups. To put it nicely, they formed their own circles. To put it bluntly, they were divided into factions. This is just a class. Well, it's your first time in class, and you're not used to it. Actually, it's not as complicated as you made it out to be. It's actually just divided into 5 categories. That's a good word to use. Could a normal class be divided into 5 categories? Your circle is really complicated. What noble circle? You're part of our noble circle now. You're one of us. Su Xiangwen took a sip of Coke and smiled. Although we are still students, we are also Takashi Hoshi. Since he was a Takashi Hoshi, it was inevitable that he would be classified. Do you know about the chain of contempt in the Takashi Hoshi world? There's a chain of contempt. It's just a way of saying it. It's just like how stage actors despise movie actors and movie actors despise TV drama actors. Is it really despise? It's definitely not. It's just a tacit acknowledgement of status. It's also related to strength. In the Takashi Hoshi world, basically standing at the top of the chain of contempt is the Takashi Hoshi family. It's a family with inherited talents and Takashi Hoshi skills. There are 3 in our class. They don't play with us, and we don't play with them. Below is the Takashi Hoshi family and what they call the rich families. The Takashi Hoshi family refers to the classmates whose parents are Takashi Hoshi. In addition to the knowledge they learned in school, they can also be given special treatment by their parents at home. They can also cultivate with the soul orbs provided by their parents. And the rich families are people like us. But the rich families weren't proposed by us. It was proposed by those idiots in the Commoners' Genius Society. We prefer to call ourselves the Krypton Gold Clan. Since Xian doesn't save the innocent, then let's change our fate. People like us basically have families that run companies, but our parents are ordinary people. We worked hard and awakened the Takashi Hoshi talent. Of course, our families are willing to spend a lot of money to support us. Takashi Hoshi skills buy, soul orbs buy, weapons buy. Because of this, some idiots are jealous and deliberately aggravate the conflict. Most of the people in our class are from ordinary families. There are 50 people in the class, and more than 30 are ordinary people. Their parents are ordinary people and are just ordinary workers. Not to mention the financial ability to buy soul orbs and skills for them. They may not even be able to eat freely. Wang Lan was speechless. That's exaggerated. They can't even eat enough? Didn't they say that they're going to eliminate the poor this year? How many people are going to be shot? Your awakening time is short, and you haven't taken the practical class. It's normal that you don't know. Gong Feiyu smiled and said, I don't know if you noticed this morning that most of the students in our class are thin. I did notice that. After all, Takashi Hoshi needs to practice martial arts. Actually, this isn't the main reason. In the first year of high school, Takashi Hoshi teacher taught us how to extract astral power. This isn't in the textbook. Takashi Hoshi can extract astral power from cells to increase their astral power. However, there's a drawback to this method. After extracting the energy from cells, there will be a lack of nutrients and people will be very hungry. Takashi Hoshi's appetite is generally twice that of ordinary people. If they extract the energy from cells, their appetite will increase by 10 times. We're all ordinary workers. Even if the parents work hard, it's not easy to maintain the expenses of the family. How can they afford to eat such a big appetite? Most children in ordinary families can't eat their fill. However, this can't be helped. If you don't want to go hungry, then don't extract the energy from cells. However, if you don't extract the energy from cells, you can't keep up with others. So, actually, sometimes we sympathize with these students. In the first year of high school, we often treated our classmates to meals. However, since the appearance of the Commoners' Genius Society, we stopped asking for trouble. The president of the Commoners' Genius Society is called Duan Ziki. I heard that she's a genius from an orphanage. At the age of 8, she awakened the Takashi Hoshi talent and is very strong. She started the Commoners' Genius Society and specially invited talented students from the Commoners to join the society. At first, their purpose was that even if they were commoners, as long as they worked hard, they would definitely surpass us, the Kryptonians. However, gradually things changed. They started to encourage commoners to be hostile towards us. When we treated our classmates to meals, they promoted it as a reward or charity. The classmates who ate our food were all beggars. Our good intentions have turned out to be bad people in the end. Therefore, after that, we stopped treating our classmates to meals. However, although the Commoners' Genius Society's rat shit is disgusting, most of our classmates are still quite good. However, we all tacitly agreed to our own circles, which became the things you see. Sure enough, where there are people, there will be politics. Wang Lan sighed. Then which circle do I belong to? Do you even need to ask? Of course you belong to our circle. But my family doesn't have a company or business. Moreover, my mother is a Takashi Hoshi. If that's the case, I should belong to a Takashi Hoshi family. Bullshit. Your mother is the Yin Emperor of the 5 Emperors. The Takashi Hoshi family circle doesn't dare to accept you. Either that, or you belong to the Takashi Hoshi family circle. However, the Takashi Hoshi family circle standard is 4 generations of Takashi Hoshi. You're only the 2nd generation. Moreover, although your family doesn't have a company, you make a lot more money than my father, okay? In Sioux City, you have 3 office buildings in the business center. Just the rent alone is 80 million. In Shanghai, you have a business center that's valued at 3 billion. In the capital, you have 2. You're the real rich, nouveau riche. Let's become sworn brothers, okay? Who did this? Suddenly, a cold voice sounded. Jiang Xinyu had appeared on the rooftop without anyone noticing. I did it. Are you satisfied? Su Xiangwen proudly pushed his sunglasses up. Too ostentatious. There will be a mock exam in the afternoon. So be it. We didn't slack off during the summer vacation. I heard from Hu He that Songbo and the others are going to teach Wang Lan a lesson this afternoon. Songbo and the other 3 Takashi Hoshi aren't very skilled, but their kung fu is not weak. Moreover, it didn't go offline when they attacked. Their moves are very insidious. Be careful. Insidious moves? For example, Gong Feiyu slowly stood up. For example, monkey sneaks away, black tiger steals heart, 1,000 years of death. Cough, cough, cough. Wang Lan felt goosebumps all over his body. That's too wretched. What's even more wretched is that they don't differentiate between men and women. In the afternoon, the bell rang for class. In the martial arts building, the students of the first class formed a fan and sat directly on the wooden floor. This exam is mainly to test the progress of your Takashi Hoshi skills so that I can arrange the next step of your study plan. The middle-aged coach held a roster and said lightly, 1 summer vacation, 2 months. You must have had a very comfortable time, right? However, you're Takashi Hoshi. You were born to fight and become stronger. For Takashi Hoshi, there is no vacation, no rest, and no comfort. When there is a battle, you fight. When there is no battle, you cultivate. On a larger scale, you shoulder the heavy responsibility of protecting human civilization. As long as the thread is not removed, your nerves should always be tense. On a smaller scale, in less than a year, you will take the college entrance exam. Whether you're a dragon in the sea or a dragon in the shallow water, it depends on your daily efforts. This exam is mainly to test your fighting strength. Compared to last semester's final exam, whether you have improved or regressed. The exam is a 2-on-1 battle. The students whose names are reported will come out to take the exam. After the exam, they will sit opposite each other. Jiang Xinyu, Song Qi. The exam began. Jiang Xinyu was one of the top 3 absolute fighting strength in Sioux City, the #1 middle school. Even if she didn't use her star power Takashi Hoshi skills, her fighting skills were far superior to other students. The student who fought with her almost had no power to resist. However, there were a few times when Jiang Xinyu could have finished the battle in one hit, but Wang Lan could see that she was holding back. This gave Song Qi the most space to display her skills. 5 minutes later, Song Qi was knocked to the ground and admitted defeat. The two of you have improved a lot during this summer vacation. Keep up the good work. Thank you, teacher. The next two, Ma Chengcheng, Su Jiayu. The fighting level of Sioux City #1 middle school. In Wang Lan's opinion, it was very ordinary. At least, among the people who were currently on the stage, he felt that the only one who could fight with him was Jiang Xinyu. After all, the basic fighting skills of Star Blazing were not necessarily at the level of a silver level. Unless it was someone with Star Blazing's fighting specialty, they could be beaten up by Wang Lan. Next group, CSCC and Songbo. Hearing this grouping, CSCC's face suddenly turned pale. Songbo stood up with a smug look on his face. He strode forward as if he was the most handsome kid in the venue. Songbo, CSCC's fighting strength is not high. Don't be too harsh. I know. How would I dare to hit the class leader? Songbo, please advise me. Please. Soon, they began to fight. CSCC's fighting ability was not good. Her movements were standard but stiff. She had no momentum and no ability to adapt. There was only one reason for this situation. She was training alone and no one was sparring with her. No matter how much one trained, it was just an empty shell. Suddenly, Songbo's face revealed a sly smile. His momentum suddenly changed. His figure flashed forward, and he struck CSCC's arm joints 3 times. Suddenly, he punched out. Wang Lan immediately stood up, but it was too late. CSCC was hit in the chest by a palm, and her body flew backward in an instant. Pooh! Blood splattered everywhere. This scene scared the whole class so much that their faces turned pale. Chapter 55. The sight of CSCC spurting out blood was out of everyone's expectations. Everyone was in disbelief. Even Songbo was at a loss. But among all the students, only Wang Lan understood what had happened. Hidden Force Fist. Hidden Force Fist was a hidden force fist, but it wasn't the same. Hidden Force Fist was a general term for a type of fist technique. Hidden Force Fist was just one of the hidden force fist techniques. Through a special method of exerting force, it can make a seemingly normal punch explode with power several times stronger. Among the hidden force fist techniques, there was a type of fist technique that was even more vicious. Its force would invade the target's internal organs and cause internal damage. On the other hand, the hidden strength fist technique required repeated practice and comprehension. This was something that could only be understood and not explained in words. Songbo, what are you doing? The combat teacher shouted angrily. I don't know. I just wanted to push her away with a normal palm. I don't know what happened to CSCC either. I didn't do it on purpose. You, 2 of you, quickly send CSCC to the infirmary. Wang Lan quickly ran to CSCC's side. Jiang Xinyu's figure flashed and followed. Wang Lan touched CSCC's neck to feel her pulse. What a vicious punch. The hidden force penetrated and directly penetrated her stomach. This kind of injury couldn't be cured. It could only be nursed. Moreover, the amount and type of food she could ingest would be limited. In other words, if it was treated with traditional methods, CSCC's stomach would be as useless as a newborn baby's. As for what Songbo said about unintentionally throwing the punch, it was impossible. Even if you wanted to throw a hidden force fist, you might not be able to do it, let alone unintentionally. This required the mobilization of dozens of muscles in the body and the strength of the muscles to flow to the hand like water. This was a complicated and precise operation that could be completed in an instant. Unintentional, it was as difficult as being able to get into Tsinghua University with your eyes closed. Don't move, Wang Lan whispered to Jiang Xinyu. Severe internal injury, stomach perforation. Block it for me. Jiang Xinyu understood. Wang Lan secretly reached his hand into CSCC's collar and pressed on her stomach. The star power surged and quickly healed CSCC's injuries. Why aren't you sending him to the medical department? Wang Lan is a Takashi Hoshi, a medical awakened. He's in the middle of treatment. I'll assist him. Oh. The instructor's eyes lit up and a surprised smile appeared on his face. Wang Lan's name was well known among the teaching staff of Sioux City's #1 middle school. The fact that Wang Lan was able to awaken the Takashi Hoshi talent on the eve of his second year of high school could only be described as a miracle. However, he was originally a seed student who could get into the best university in Jade State, but he suddenly transferred to the Takashi Hoshi campus. The school of Sioux City #1 middle school was not happy. However, what could they do? All students with the Takashi Hoshi talent had to go to the Takashi Hoshi class. However, the principal of the Takashi Hoshi campus actually allowed Wang Lan to enter the third year of high school directly. This move was seen by many as destroying Wang Lan's future. Even if Wang Lan was a genius, he had lagged behind for 2 years. It was already the limit for him to catch up with the average grades in 1 year. As for getting into a good university, what a joke. However, the principal had given a strict order during the teachers' meeting to focus on nurturing Wang Lan. What should he do? Lu Jie was stressed out. But now, Lu Jie suddenly realized that his headmaster was indeed a scheming and astute man. Wang Lan was a medical Takashi Hoshi. He could definitely get into a good university without doing anything. Under the cover of Jiang Xinyu's body, no one saw Wang Lan reach his hand into CSCC's collar. CSCC, who was unconscious, might not know either. A few seconds later, Wang Lan pulled his hand out and stood up at lightning speed. Her body is fine now. That's good. Wang Lan, I didn't expect you to be a medical Takashi Hoshi. What injuries can you treat? Basically, I can treat all physical injuries. It's just that it's a little draining, but it's not a problem. Okay, let's move on to the next pair. Soon, the 24 pairs in the class were done. However, there were 50 people in the class, and logically speaking, there should be 25 pairs. Because Qin Xiao took a leave of absence, Wang Lan ended the test today because it's his first day of school. Ah, he's really lucky. He doesn't even need to take the test. Teacher, what's Wang Lan's ranking in this test? A male voice sounded in the hall. Wang Lan didn't take the test, so he won't be included in the ranking. Is that so? Then is Wang Lan in our class? Teacher, have you considered Wang Lan's feelings before doing this? The prodigy has condescended to our class, and the teacher actually treats him as an outsider. That's right. This is a mock test. Teacher, you should at least find out the background of the new student, right? Wang Lan looked over and saw that the people who spoke were the 4 members of the so-called Commoner Genius Society. Song Bo, in particular, was the fiercest. Teacher Liu, I'd better take the test. Before I became a Takashi Hoshi, I also learned how to fight, so I'm considered to have a foundation. Is that so? Then I'll ask a classmate to spar with you. Don't go too far. Teacher, I'll do it. In the crowd, the tall and burly Qin Jian stood up with a whoosh. Let me do it. Song Bo also stood up with a smile. Sit down. I haven't even punished you for injuring CSCC to this extent. What do you want to do now? Teacher Liu, what are you saying? I'll go turn myself in after class, okay? Who knew that CSCC's health wasn't good? She didn't say anything. My palm was soft and didn't have much strength. Everyone could see that. Jiang Xinyu sneered in her heart. She lowered her head and saw that CSCC in her arms seemed to have woken up. Are you okay? I don't feel pain anymore. I'm fine. When CSCC said this, her ears instantly turned red. Teacher, let's go with Song Bo. I saw just now. Song Bo didn't do it on purpose. It should be CSCC's stomach ulcer caused by her irregular diet. After being punched by Song Bo, her stomach ulcer was triggered. Let Song Bo spar with me. Don't go too far. Is this a stomach ulcer? Lu Jie looked at Wang Lan with a strange expression. Do you think I've never seen a stomach ulcer before? Or do you think I can't tell what kind of injury it is? Teacher Lu, Wang Lan is a medical Takashi Hoshi. How can he be wrong? Su Xiangwen said with a smile. That's right. Since Songbo is so enthusiastic, I can't stop Wang Lan from interacting with the other students. Gong Feiyu chimed in. This? Okay. Lu Jie was a little worried, but he still agreed. Don't go too far. Songbo, you're not allowed to attack Wang Lan's vital parts. Do you understand? Understood, understood. His limbs are fine, right? Songbo came to the field with a face full of excitement. He had only hit CSCC because he was angry that this TCH had embarrassed the four of them this morning. He had only punched her with hidden force to vent his anger. But to Wang Lan? Hee. How can I vent my anger if I don't cripple you? You're still a fart? It would have been over if you had used another way to curse. Why did you have to curse in such a classic way? Now, not to mention the Year 3 students, even the Year 1 and Year 2 students had spread the word. In just one morning, people had given him the nickname Brother Fart. What the F***CK? It was a great humiliation, and his reputation was notorious. If I don't let you be a cripple for the rest of your life, I, Songbo, will change my surname to yours. As for Jiang Xinyu and the others, why did they not stop him? Instead, they were happy to let Wang Lan spar with him. This made Songbo's heart waver a little. However, it was rejected in an instant. At the very most, Wang Lan had only awakened for 2 months. How high could his fighting skills be? In the eyes of a Takashi Hoshi, the fighting skills of an ordinary person were just child's play. Only when one became a Takashi Hoshi would one's fighting skills be considered to have started. This fist of mine took 5 years of effort. You, a newbie who had only awakened for 2 months, want to block it? Dream on. Student Songbo, please advise. Wang Lan bowed respectfully in front of Songbo. Student Wang Lan, please advise. You attack first. As he spoke, he placed one hand behind his back and the other in front of his chest. Wang Lan raised his fist and rushed towards Songbo in large strides. Songbo raised his eyebrows and sneered. Weak footsteps and unstable lower body. Your intention to attack is too obvious. You don't have any intention of fainting. What a newbie, trash. Just as he thought of this, Wang Lan's eyes suddenly changed. He took a step and his body instantly moved forward. Songbo's expression changed greatly. He hurriedly crossed his hands in front of his chest to block. But Wang Lan's hands were like a mantis knife hand. In an instant, he blocked Songbo's hands. His fist instantly turned into a palm. Boom! With a push of the palm, Songbo's body was suddenly sent flying. Songbo, who was sent flying, spat out blood. The pain of his internal organs being burned instantly spread throughout his body. And this series of actions was so fast that even Lu Jie couldn't react in time. The surroundings were dead silent. All the students' eyes were wide open. They looked at Wang Lan's back in disbelief. This was especially so for CSCC. While she was shocked, there was only one word left in her mind. So handsome. The same scene, the same scene. Could it be that Wang Lan did it for me? The little girl's thoughts were complicated. In an instant, her heart was as sweet as honey. Dong! With a muffled sound, Songbo landed on the ground at this time. Challenge successful. Reward: 10 experience points, 1 skill point. Cough, cough, cough. A violent cough sounded, accompanied by blood foam. How could this be? You, Songbo, do you also have a stomach ulcer? Wang Lan exclaimed in disbelief. Songbo, the other 3 hurriedly ran to Songbo's side and were about to help him up. Suddenly, a crisp sound came from Songbo's chest. Crack! Songbo quickly let out a scream. Wang Lan's previous punch broke 3 of Songbo's ribs. But the strength was controlled so well that it was only broken but not dislocated. And this time, with the help of the 3 students, the ribs were dislocated. It's broken, you. Qin Jian turned around furiously. Teacher, didn't you say that you're not allowed to attack the vital parts? Aren't you going to do something about it? Wang Lan, give me an explanation. Lu Jie's face suddenly became gloomy. This was blatant. Teacher, You said that you're not allowed to attack the vital parts of Songbo. You didn't say that to me. And the part one attacked wasn't the vital parts. As for Songbo vomiting blood, everyone saw it. I just push him a little. It shouldn't have happened, right? UF Asterisk King broke Songbo's ribs. Qin Jian shouted sternly. The venue was so quiet just now. I think many students heard it. It seems that the crisp sound just now was when you helped him up, right? There's a surveillance video here. We can take it out and watch the replay. I say, did you take the opportunity to break Songbo's bones and use it to frame me? Wang Lan had an innocent look on her face, causing the other students to be baffled. Just now, it seemed that Wang Lan had only pushed Songbo lightly and sent him flying. If that could break his bones, how osteoporosis must he be? Jiang Xinyu, on the other hand, smiled faintly. Wang Lan, treat Songbo. Teacher, I've used up all my star power to treat CSCC just now. It'll take about 3 hours to recover. Don't worry, I'll treat him before school ends. Chapter 56. After the test, Lu Jie began to give professional guidance to each student. The injured Songbo sat in the corner and coughed from time to time. Qin Jian and the other two surrounded Songbo and asked in a low voice, Songbo, what's wrong with you? Why did he push you so lightly? Lightly my ass. He's an expert, an ancient martial arts expert. What do you think his palm was? You mean his palm and the one you threw earlier? The exact same force. He did it on purpose. I finally understand why Jiang Xinyu and the rest are encouraging me to fight with Wang Lan. This prodigy is simply a monster. Before he became a Takashi Hoshi, his strength was not inferior to us Takashi Hoshi. He has mastered very advanced ancient martial arts. I see. I was wondering how powerful a medical Takashi Hoshi, who has just awakened, can be. I see. Songbo, what should we do? Stop him after school? How? Jiang Xinyu and the rest won't pretend that they didn't see it. If we want to vent our anger, I'm afraid the president and the 12 brothers will have to do it. Wang Lan sat at the side, quietly with his head lowered. He was still thinking about the 10 EXP and 1 skill point just now. In the past, he always thought that he had to kill to obtain EXP. Besides, he couldn't kill chickens, fish, or rats. He had to kill at least a heavyweight or even a threat to Wang Lan's life. Apart from completing missions, Wang Lan's EXP was obtained from killing demons, demon soldiers, and demon generals. However, he didn't know that defeating a classmate would give him EXP and skill points. If that was the case, beating up Songbo would give him 10 EXP and 1 skill point. Beating him up 5 times would be comparable to killing an exotic beast. What if he had to beat him up 100 times a day? That was 1,000 EXP and 100 skill points. Thinking of this, Wang Lan suddenly looked up at Songbo's group of 4. At this moment, the 4 of them were no longer so annoying in Wang Lan's eyes. Were they? Walking EXP and walking skill points. Should I beat him up again? Wang Lan raised his head and looked at Songbo and the other 3 with ill intentions. His undisguised gaze made Songbo and the others tremble. Wang Lan. Wang Lan quickly stood up. Lu Jie lowered his head and looked at the evaluation form. The tip of his pen paused for a moment, and he raised his head to look at Wang Lan. You attacked too quickly just now, and there wasn't enough time for me to see your strength clearly. How about this? I'll be your opponent this time to test your strength. This isn't a good idea, right? Wang Lan asked hesitantly. All the skills in his system were silver skills. Although Lu Jie was a star-blazing Takashi Hoshi, Wang Lan did not think that Lu Jie's overall strength could reach silver level. If he really had such strength, why would he be teaching? He would have joined the Wasteland Reclamation Corps to excavate treasures. Wouldn't it be better to join the army and become a company officer? Don't worry, your teacher will hold back. You don't have to feel pressured. Just attack. I just want to see your weakness. This. All right. Wang Lan stood up. The other students in the field were suddenly filled with anticipation, especially CSCC. Her heartbeat suddenly sped up, and her beautiful eyes sparkled. Lu Jie put down the record in his hand and unbuttoned his Zhongshan suit one by one, revealing his snow-white shirt. When Lu Jie did these actions, Wang Lan's eyes suddenly became serious. His meticulous actions were normal for ordinary people, but when Lu Jie did it, there was an inexplicable pressure, a strong aura of an expert. Wang Lan narrowed his eyes slightly, and his gaze fell on Lu Jie's head. His glossy black hair was meticulously trimmed. Suit maniac? This was an expert. The moment Lu Jie flung his clothes away, Wang Lan couldn't suppress his impulse to attack, and his body instantly rushed out. Not bad. Your aura is not bad. Looks like you've been through a lot of actual combat training. Wang Lan leaped up, and his fist came down from above. Lu Jie instantly raised his hand in front of him. Wang Lan's fist met Lu Jie's arm, and his fist came down hard again. Lu Jie's expression was slightly stunned. A force beyond his imagination came from his arm, and then the shadow of a fist became bigger and bigger in his vision. Boom! Oh, all the students widened their eyes and watched as Wang Lan's fist came down, and then their combat instructor was hit in the face, and his head fell to the ground. Dong, huh? Challenge completed. Reward: 10 experience points, 1 skill point. Wang Lan panicked and hurriedly carried Lu Jie. Teacher, Lu Jie, his palm covered Lu Jie's puffed-up cheeks, and warm star power flowed in. Soon, the pain on Lu Jie's face and the dizziness in his head disappeared. The two of them stood up, and the surrounding students buzzed in discussion. Lu Jie's face was a little red. I was careless. I didn't expect Wang Lan to have such great strength. Is this your talent? Yes, teacher. Lu Jie wanted to step down, and Wang Lan took the opportunity to send him a bench. My talent is called Extraordinary Strength Fist. With one punch, I can punch a big hole in the cement wall of the house. Teacher, you're at a disadvantage. So that's how it is. The students suddenly understood. So that's how it is. I knew teacher Lu couldn't be so weak. He was KO'd with one punch. Lu Jie smiled, very satisfied with Wang Lan's cooperation. Teacher, please be careful. I'm very strong, so please don't let your guard down. Don't worry, I won't be careless this time. As soon as he finished speaking, Wang Lan instantly rushed toward Lu Jie again. Lu Jie had indeed learned his lesson. He no longer dared to take Wang Lan's attack head-on. With agile movements, he gently avoided Wang Lan's fist. However, just as he steadied himself, Lu Jie's expression suddenly changed. He had used actual combat movements to dodge just now. He should have been able to pull away from Wang Lan and then counterattack. However, he never expected, before he could steady himself, Wang Lan's figure actually followed him like a shadow. What a fast movement! Lu Jie hurriedly staggered again. His footsteps moved quickly, and he even used feints to confuse his opponent. He combined the dodging techniques of ghost steps and spacewalk, and changed his position twice in a second. However, Wang Lan's movement was still able to easily catch up with him. Is this the strength of your fist? Why didn't you tell me that your speed is also so fast? Just as he was shocked, a black shadow suddenly appeared in front of him. Wang Lan's legs swept over, appearing strangely an extremely tricky angle. Lu Jie only had time to cross his hands, and the leg fiercely kicked. Whoosh! Lu Jie's figure flew backward again. Pa! He landed on his back with his limbs in the air. Oh. The world suddenly became very quiet. Challenge completed. Reward: 10 experience points, 1 skill point. As expected, the challenge could be repeated. Teacher, are you okay? Lu Jie slowly sat up and suddenly laughed. Teacher, are you okay? Brat, who is Huang Feilong to you? Teacher Lu knows Master Huang. He's my coach. How many years have you been learning from him? 5 years. How often do you have classes? About 4 or 5 classes a week. Wang Lan was even more confused. The student has surpassed the master. Lu Jie stood up and said to the shocked students, Students, did you see Wang Lan's attack clearly just now? I saw it clearly. Did you understand it? Everyone did not know how to answer this question. Wang Lan was Huang Feilong's disciple. Back then, when Huang Feilong and I were exploring the map together, we were in the same team. The two of us were both close combat maniacs, and especially liked close combat. We sparred whenever we had nothing to do, so I found Wang Lan's attack habits familiar at first glance. In your impression, Wang Lan is the prodigy of the campus next door. He's a beginner Takashi Hoshi who has just awakened as a Takashi Hoshi. Just now, he showed his medical Takashi Hoshi talent. However, he has been learning from Huang Feilong for 5 years and has 4 or 5 classes a week. What about you? You've only been learning from me for 2 years. It's okay for some of you to have a family background, but have most of you really worked hard in the past 2 years? Did you use your skills? Wang Lan had already cultivated his combat skills to the professional level before he became a Takashi Hoshi. You're all Takashi Hoshi now. What reason do you have not to work hard? Don't believe that there are geniuses in this world, let alone that there are peerless talents. When you say that someone who is better than you is a genius or is more talented than you, please use your brain. No matter how smart a baby is, it's still a baby. Don't use genius to deny hard work. Seeing Wang Lan today, I suddenly realized that I've been too good to you in the past. I've let you live too comfortably. Now, everyone, except for Song Bo, will do 10 laps around the training hall. Then, do 500 high kicks, 500 side kicks, 500 bounce kicks, 500 whip kicks, 1,000 push-ups, and finally, run 20 laps around the field. Instructor Lu Jie was crazy. With such a full schedule, he didn't give the students a chance to breathe at all. The boys were fine, but this kind of training was simply terrible for the girls. It was September, and it was so hot. Even if a Takashi Hoshi had an extraordinary physique, 3 hours of continuous training was still very tiring. But there were still half of the students in the class who calmly completed the training that seemed like a devil in the eyes of ordinary students. When it was close to the end of school, all the students in the first class sat weakly in the training hall. Lu Jie held the registration form and paced in front of the students. Do you see it? Do you see it? Lu Jie pointed at the half of the students who were calm and composed. Do you see the difference? In the past, some students thought that they were rich kids who only knew how to spend money to buy soul or to improve their cultivation. If it weren't for their good parents, they would be nothing. But now, do you feel ashamed? This kind of training is the most basic and lowest level in the world of Takashi Hoshi. But you're so tired that you can't even stand. Strong. It's not because of good parents or good resources, but because of yourself. Physical fitness is the best way to test a person's daily effort. Could it be that their bodies were also pushed up by star power? If you don't reflect on yourself, you'll be deceiving yourself. I now announce that in the first year of high school, you'll live miserably, so miserably that you won't be able to remember the past after you graduate. I said it. If you can't stand it, I suggest you change classes. Do you understand? Yes. Yes, class dismissed. Chapter 57. After changing their clothes, the group of students supported each other and walked to the classroom. Wang Lan, I didn't expect you to be a medical Takashi Hoshi. Nice to meet you in the future. Wang Lan, I've been injured. Can you heal me? Wang Lan, let's play together in the future. The medical Takashi Hoshi was indeed the most popular branch in the Takashi Hoshi world. The Takashi Hoshi family circle, which had previously expressed indifference to Wang Lan, and the Takashi Hoshi family circle, all expressed their intention to befriend Wang Lan. Although it was impossible to become friends with just a few words, friendship still started from the very beginning. Suddenly, Song Bo, who had been cured by Wang Lan, appeared in front of Wang Lan. Wang Lan, our president invites you to go after school. If you have the guts, don't run away after school. Oh, okay. Huh? Duan Ziki is awesome. She's sending a dog to invite me? Before Jiang Xinyu and the others could speak, Maigitsuk Castle suddenly came to Wang Lan's side and smiled faintly at Song Bo. Even if you're Duan Ziki's dog, you have to remember that your kennel is in Class 1. If you don't have this awareness, I guarantee that you won't be able to survive in Class 1. Maigitsuk Castle, Song Bo's face suddenly turned dark, but he did not dare to speak nonsense. Maigitsuk Castle, the Takashi Hoshi family Mingwe family, was famous for their unparalleled illusion secret techniques in Jade State. To put it bluntly, The Commoner Genius Society only dared to provoke people like Jiang Xinyu, who were rich but had ordinary parents. They didn't even dare to offend the children of the Takashi Hoshi family, let alone the children of the Takashi Hoshi family. That's right. Although you guys were an eyesore in the past, all you did was make some noise and treat it as if you were a fly. However, you should know very well why you punched squad leader Xie today. Do you think we're chicks? You think you can fool us? If it wasn't for Wang Lan teaching you a lesson, do you think you would have a good ending after school? Another representative from the Takashi Hoshi family circle sneered with his arms crossed. Right, shouldn't you apologize to squad leader Xie? Apologize? What's there to apologize for? I'll just... The slap-stun song Bo Wu Chung gently waved his hand. Is it that hard to practice the hidden strength fist? The next time you and I are drawn to fight, I would also like to experience your hidden energy fist. Don't be afraid to use it. Even if you don't use it, I will use it. Don't let me punch you to death, okay? As soon as he said this, Song Bo and the other three's faces turned pale. Large beads of cold sweat kept dripping down. Squad leader Xie, come here for a moment. CSCC was called. She looked at Jiang Xinyu in confusion. Accompanied by Jiang Xinyu, she came forward. Squad leader Xie is here. Song Bo, if you don't kneel down and apologize today, we won't be able to let this matter go. I'm not afraid to tell you that there are at least 7 people in our class who know how to use the hidden strength fist. It depends on whether you're au fait or au fait. Calculate the odds of you being drawn against the 7 of us. Song Bo's face turned even paler. His whole body couldn't help but tremble. It wasn't anger, but fear. Sparring was a compulsory part of every actual combat class. Every time, the teacher would randomly pick the students. The probability of 25 against a little more than a third. He could dodge it once, but could he dodge it every time? And he thought that his trick would be undetectable, but he didn't expect so many students to see it. I knew that you guys usually pretend to be pigs to eat tigers, but I didn't know that you guys hit it so well. If he didn't give an explanation today, don't even talk about staying in Class 1. You wouldn't even be able to stay in Sioux City, Yizhong. Under the pressure of a group of students, Song Bo finally gave in. He slowly knelt down in front of CSCC. Class leader, I'm sorry. I learned the hidden strength fist during the summer vacation, but I really didn't know it was so powerful. I just wanted to show off. I really didn't mean to hurt you. I used the hidden strength fist. At that time, at most, I broke out with twice the strength. I didn't do it on purpose. Class leader, please forgive me. CSCC was just a weak girl. She suddenly panicked in such a situation. I'm fine now. We're all classmates. You can't do this in the future. Get up. Songbo, since the class leader forgave you and you suffered for half a day, we'll let it go. But remember, this is the only time. If you dare to play dirty tricks on your classmates next time, you'll know what a real dirty trick is. Wang Lan was just a spectator throughout the whole process. He didn't say anything and didn't fan the flames. He just watched quietly. He had originally planned to get back at them, but he was beaten up by the United Students in minutes. However, this unity might exist because of the existence of Wang Lan, a medical Takashi Hoshi. When the school bell rang, the students in the Takashi Hoshi campus either went to the cafeteria or packed their bags and left. Wang Lan walked down the stairs slowly with his shoulder bag. Jiang Xinyu and Su Xiangwen followed Wang Lan silently. I say, what are you guys doing? Why do you have such a serious expression? Duan Ziqi's strength has always been a mystery. Anyway, her comprehensive strength has always been in the top 3 of number 1 high school. She's on par with Xinyu. Even if Xinyu has broken through the nebula, she still doesn't dare to underestimate her. Okay, and then? Of course I'm going with you. Didn't you promise to end things at the Commoners' Genius Society after school? I agreed. Wang Lan asked with her eyes wide open in surprise. You agreed. Does that mean I agreed? Su Xiangwen stopped in his tracks. His expression was very interesting. F*CK. I almost forgot that Lan Zi's style has always been to lie. He even stood Xinyu up so naturally. Who does this Duan Zi Chi think he is? He actually wants you to keep your promise? That makes sense. Then what are we doing? Gong Feiyu looked at Su Xiangwen with a bitter smile. Let's go home. Su Xiangwen waved his hand gently and turned to leave. See you tomorrow, Lan Zi. Wang Lan, do you want me to send you home? Jiang Xinyu asked faintly. Forget it. Who knows what will happen if my classmates see me tomorrow? I'll take the bus myself. Okay, be careful. Although it was the first day of school, today's harvest was good. Originally, he was worried about how to earn experience and skill points, since he could earn them through battle. Should he change his style? He had been used to keeping a low profile for more than 10 years. After all, his mental age was approaching 40. It was awkward to show off with a group of children. But if he could earn points, it seemed that he could only do it by showing off, right? In his mind, the scene of him setting up the ring appeared. I'm Wang Lan. I've been in the martial arts world for more than 10 years. My life is as lonely as snow. I've long heard that Sioux City No. 1 Middle School's Takashi Hoshi campus is full of masters and strong people. I've set up this ring. I don't seek fame or fortune, but I seek defeat. Whoever beats me, I'll give you 1,000,000 silver coins. Wasn't he too arrogant? Unknowingly, he had arrived at the bus stop. Suddenly, he felt a gaze on his face. He looked up and saw a student in Sioux City No. 1 Middle School's uniform looking at him with a smile. Student Wang Lan, I've long heard of your name. Let me introduce myself. My name is Duan Ziki. I'm from grade 12, class 5. Wang Lan frowned. He didn't expect to be blocked here. Looking for a remote place? Student Wang Lan, you've misunderstood. I'm not here to find trouble with you. Oh, then, Student Wang Lan's talent is peerless. Although I agree that there are no real geniuses in the world. Even if there are geniuses who work hard. But with the same amount of hard work, geniuses do improve more than ordinary people. I don't deny Student Wang Lan's hard work, but I have to admit that you are a real genius. If the title of study god could be obtained through hard work, then Sioux City would have produced many study gods. If your strength to defeat teacher Lu Jie can be obtained through hard work, those students who have also worked hard for 10 years should also be able to do it. Being praised by the other party, Wang Lan felt a little embarrassed. He did work hard. He added a lot of points. The other party slowly took out a piece of paper from his bag and placed it in front of Wang Lan. I now sincerely invite you to join our Commoners Genius Society. As long as you join, you will immediately become the 13th core member. I will think of a way to provide you with all the resources you need. Too much points. Wang Lan suddenly shouted. Student Duan Ziki, are you misunderstanding something? I remember that your Commoners Genius Society only recruits students from poor families, right? Student Wang Lan, although you seem to have a good relationship with Jiang Xinyu, that rich second generation, for what I know, your family situation isn't good. You're an orphan like me. Your mother passed away when you were very young. And you, from elementary school until now, you've always walked or taken the bus to school. You've never compared yourself to others, you've never worn branded clothes, and you don't have your own electric scooter. During the summer vacation, after your 3rd year of middle school, you delivered milk for people in the morning for 2 whole months. The rest of the time, you delivered food for people. You, on the other hand, rely on your legs to deliver milk and takeout, rain or shine. I'm not wrong, right? You can even investigate this clearly. It's not hard to find this information. Wang Lan was speechless. You already investigated it. Can't you investigate it more thoroughly? You're right. I'm an orphan. My mother did indeed pass away when I was very young. Okay, I'm not sure now. But as little ants, GI biotechnology, just for decoration? Also, during the summer vacation, I did deliver milk in the morning and delivered food at other times. I did indeed rely on my legs, rain, or shine. But that was a planned cultivation to break through the limits of my physical body. You definitely don't know that when I delivered food and milk, I was wearing 50 pounds of weights. It's not hard to find information about me living in Sinew Building, right? Do you only see what you like to see? Student Wang Lan, I sincerely hope that you can join my Commoners Genius Society. I've always believed that poverty isn't a shackle that limits our growth. It makes us more tenacious, more hardworking, and more united. In principle, I agree with your point of view. But can I ask student Duan a question? Do you know which three major economic zones are in Sioux City? Jinhu Economic Zone, Eastern Tiananmen Economic Zone, Ocean View Avenue Economic Zone? Why did student Wang Lan suddenly ask this? Do you know the Yuanxing Building in Jinhu Economic Zone? I know. What about the Sinew Building in Eastern Tiananmen Economic Zone? I've seen it from afar. Duan Ziki's expression became more confused. She didn't understand why Wang Lan was talking about this. Ocean View Avenue Economic Zone's landmark, Ocean View Pavilion, should also be well known, right? Duan Ziki silently nodded. The owner of these three buildings is me. Sioux City number 1 Middle School, we've arrived. Passengers who want to get off, please get off from the back door. My car is here. Student Duan goodbye. No longer paying attention to Duan Ziki, who was in doubt, Wang Lan picked up his shoulder bag and hurriedly got on the car from the front door. Beep, student card. Chapter 58. Since then, Wang Lan's life seemed to have returned to how it used to be. Wang Lan was not a talkative person, but he was very easy to get along with. In the past, there were so many straight-A students in the class next door. They competed with each other openly and covertly, but Wang Lan could get along well with every one of them. From straight-A students to straight-A students, he could boast to the heavens. Now that he was in Takashi Hoshi Grade 12 Class 1, Wang Lan quickly shuttled through the various circles like a fish in water. They were happy to interact with Wang Lan, and Wang Lan was happy to be on good terms with them, except for Songbo's four-man team. On the 10th day of school, Wang Lan was caught in an academic crisis. As the prodigy, he did not get first place in his first exam. He was successfully suppressed by the Ice Queen. That day, the sky was exceptionally clear. That day, Jiang Xinyu was exceptionally arrogant. That day, Jiang Xinyu looked at Wang Lan as if she was looking at her private property, which made Wang Lan shudder. Didn't he just win once? Did she have to be so smug? After class, Wang Lan stared at the question in front of him in a daze. Please analyze in detail the rules and operating formula of the change of star powers form, and indicate the 7 main points. Please analyze in detail the operating formula of the change of star powers nature, as well as the 3 major protective measures to ensure that the nature does not backfire, and the 3 main points. For such a professional Takashi Hoshi exam question, those who knew it could do it in one go. Those who knew half of it could also make it up. However, Wang Lan did not know it at all, so he could only write a solution. Wang Lan, it's okay. Don't take it too hard. Even if you didn't get first place, didn't you get 5th place? It's okay. Jiang Xinyu's grades were not below yours in the past. She was only a few points behind you in every exam. This is the Takashi Hoshi exam. You don't have the home court advantage, so it's natural for you to lose. Maigatsuk Castle put an arm around Wang Lan's shoulder to comfort him. After all, he was a man who was revered as a prodigy. He must be very sad to fail his first exam after transferring to another school. So Maigatsuk Castle came to comfort him. However, why did it feel so good to see Wang Lan fall from the altar? No, he had to hold back his laughter. But what if he couldn't hold it in? This topic isn't out of the syllabus, right? Wang Lan was still brooding. Logically speaking, he had already spent a month reading Takashi Hoshi's high school textbook. Even if he did not fully grasp it, it was impossible that he did not have any impression of it. Even if he didn't, he should at least have some impression of it. However, Wang Lan had no idea about the changes in the form and nature of star power. It's not out of the syllabus. This is an internship Takashi Hoshi course. Jiang Xinyu raised her head proudly. It's not in the textbook, but Takashi Hoshi sensei will teach it. Also, he said that this is a compulsory part of the college entrance examination. Wang Lan, if you don't know how to do it, I'll show you. Don't underestimate these 2 points of knowledge. They are the prerequisites for learning Takashi Hoshi techniques. If you can't grasp the changes in the form and nature of star power, you won't be able to learn the Takashi Hoshi techniques for 90% of the time. The most important thing about the changes in the form is the control of star power. In layman's terms, star power in your hands is like plasticine. As he spoke, Myget Castle spread out his hands, and a ball of star power slowly took shape in his palm. The key is to extend from the theoretical knowledge of star power. The source of star power is the energy of the cells. The reason why we can control star power is because we have mental strength. Mix mental strength with star power and let the mental strength and star power completely fuse, thus achieving control of star power. The more thorough the fusion, the stronger the control of star power. For beginners, the fusion ratio of mental strength and star power is generally 1 to 5. The better ones are 1 to 3. This requires practice, and the best fusion ratio is 1 to 1. Of course, real experts can achieve a ratio of 1 to 1. When the fusion is achieved, you see, the star power ball in Myget Castle's hands suddenly began to transform. In a short while, it turned into a ball, and in a short while, it turned into a square. For a moment, it flowed like water, and for a moment, it turned into a whirlpool. Amazing! Student Mingwei, has your control of star power reached perfection? How can it be so fast? I'm only 1 to 1.5 now. To reach perfection, it'll take 7 or 8 years. Suddenly, Myget Castle's eyes widened, and the students watching Mingwei's teaching were all dumbfounded. In fact, when Myget Castle completed the transformation, Wang Lan suddenly realized that he seemed to be able to achieve this kind of transformation. This was because the silver Takashi Hoshi skill, Nebula Sword Dance, was a Takashi Hoshi skill that used the transformation of star power. Moreover, it was an advanced skill. The prerequisite for learning this Takashi Hoshi skill was to have perfect control of the transformation of star power. Don't underestimate this theory and control method. It seemed simple, but it was very difficult to achieve. This was a painstaking effort. It was like performing a surgery. In theory, there were only a few steps: cutting, peeling, or suturing, and then suturing. But try it. There were too many subtle manipulations involved. This required understanding, experience, and physical memory to facilitate the triple promotion. Myget Castle was able to achieve 1 to 1.5 star power control at this age. He was definitely worthy of the title of a genius of the Takashi Hoshi clan. And Wang Lan's mastery of the transformation of star power was all improved by adding points. So the initial 100 skill points were not wasted. Wang Lan was the kind of person who could do it, but didn't understand the theory behind it. Now that he heard what Myget Castle said, he instantly understood. He opened his palm, and the cluster of star power turned into 2. The 2 clusters of star power turned into 2 stickmen. Then, a blockbuster fight took place in Wang Lan's palm. The whole classroom was dead silent. The cluster of star power in Myget Castle's palm broke. Was this a concept? Was this a domain? Myget Castle was just rubbing star power into balls. You've already used star power to make a movie? It was like I had just invented a bicycle and was announcing my awesomeness. Then, you came driving a Ferrari. F***CK. Someone suddenly let out a roar from the depths of their throat. The whole class instantly came back to their senses. Jiang Xinyu looked at Wang Lan bitterly. You did it on purpose, didn't you? Was there need to ask? It was obvious, wasn't it? He could control the shape of star power to such an extent that it left others in despair. How could he say that he didn't know how to solve this problem? Myget Castle wanted to take off his shoes and slap him. I taught you seriously, but you pretended to be a newbie and asked for advice with a humble face. Then, you suddenly braked and almost broke my waist. No. Wang Lan looked innocent. I really didn't know, but now that Mingwei said so, I understand. I could do it before, but I thought that every Takashi Hoshi could do it after awakening star power. So, I didn't know that this was the shape change of star power. As soon as he said that, the number of students who wanted to kill him increased tenfold. Did you hear what humans said? Myget Castle turned around silently. Just as he was about to leave, he was caught by Wang Lan. Mingwei, isn't there a change in nature? The veins on Myget Castle's forehead bulged. You still want to ask about the change in nature? Wasn't it enough that you hit me once? You want to hit me again? Wang Lan, don't be too pretentious. You'll get beaten up. I'm really asking for advice. You see, I was in high school next door for 2 years. I fell behind in the Takashi Hoshi class for 2 years. Although I spent a month cramming, there are still so many points of knowledge that I've never heard of. Master Mingwei, please explain. All the students were killed on the spot. You spent a month making up for 3 years' worth of lessons, and you're ranked 5th in class. According to Wang Lan, the students ranked 6th to 50th in class should commit seppuku. They were too ashamed to live. He's not a human, he's a beast. Maigetsu Castle slowly turned around and looked deeply into Wang Lan's eyes. I've always had a question, and I hope Wang Lan can answer it. Please ask Mingwei. How did you survive when you were in the school next door? Didn't anyone want to kill you? How could that be? We're all classmates who love each other. How could we have such thoughts? Wang Lan's smile was like a spring breeze, but the scene in his mind was, Wang Lan, go to hell. I can't help it. Don't stop me. Let me beat this pretentious prick to death. I'm sacrificing myself for justice. Wang Lan, may I ask you a question? How can you use the materials you buy on the street to produce dangerous substances that are severely regulated by the country? For example, in the 5th and 6th columns of the periodic table of elements, you can do it through nuclear fusion. Come to think of it, why was Wang Lan able to become friends with all the students in class? It was all for the sake of his own life. Mingwei, I'm sincerely asking for your advice. Everyone has their own star power attribute. My star power attribute is water and thunder, so it's a bit difficult to control the attribute changes. I really envy you guys who only have one attribute. Mingwei sighed and said faintly, Huh? The tone of his voice sounded familiar. Wang Lan cursed in his heart. To change the attribute of star power, the first thing you have to do is to separate the star power with the attribute. Unless you have 100% star power with only one attribute, you have to separate the star power with the attribute. It's also controlled with mental strength, but this time you don't have to mix the mental strength. Instead, you have to separate the mental strength and let the star power collide. The collision of star power will release the energy of the attribute. This is the change of attribute of star power. With that, Maigetsu Castle spread out his hands. A water ball suddenly appeared in his left hand, and electric arcs flashed in his right hand, making ear-piercing, crackling sounds. Wang Lan tried to follow Maigetsu Castle's instructions, but he suddenly ran into trouble when separating the fire attribute star power, because Wang Lan couldn't feel the fire attribute star power. What was going on? During the test, Wang Lan was 70% fire attribute, which couldn't be fake. If he couldn't feel it, it must be because he hadn't mastered it yet. All eyes were fixed on Wang Lan. Wang Lan stretched out his palm and held it for a long time, but there was no change at all. Sigh. Suddenly, Wang Lan let out a long sigh. Sure enough, the change of attribute is quite difficult. I have to study it for a while. Hearing this, Maigetsu Castle looked much better, and the whole class breathed a sigh of relief at the same time. If Wang Lan could still do it easily, then they would really have doubts about life. Being with such a monster, sooner or later they would be beaten to tears. It's okay. Practice more. You can even easily master the change of form. The change of attribute of star power shouldn't be difficult for you. The change of attribute is easier than the change of form. It took me 3 days to master it. Maigetsu Castle comforted him sincerely. Suddenly, Wang Lan realized something was wrong. He didn't seem to have separated the attribute star power first, and then performed the change of attribute. After all, he had learned the flaming blade, which was Takashi Hoshi's skill of attribute change. If he had learned the flaming blade, there was no reason why he couldn't master the change of attribute, right? Thinking of this, Wang Lan didn't bother about the separation of attribute star power. Instead, he directly separated a mass of star power and then used the flaming blade to make them collide. Boom! A ball of flame rose from Wang Lan's hand. I think I learned it. F***CK. Dozens of middle fingers were raised. Chapter 59. Ding ling ling. Let's go, let's go. From now on, we can't believe anything Wang Lan says. It's too infuriating. As the bell rang, the students shrank back to their seats as if they were running for their lives. But Wang Lan was really innocent. Wang Lan really didn't know the theory behind the changes in star power's shape and nature. Even if he knew the theory, he wouldn't know the reason. After Suk Castle's explanation, combined with the actual situation, he understood the theory thoroughly. With the heavens as a witness, he really didn't mean to hurt people. The change in shape was fine, but the change in nature of the attribute made Wang Lan fall into another confusion. Although the collision successfully produced the flame, what was the first step? Stripping the attribute of star power? According to Suk Castle, every Takashi Hoshi could sense the attribute of their star power, unless it was a hidden attribute. But even if it was a hidden attribute, it just didn't mean that the attribute classification couldn't be determined. But Wang Lan felt that his star power was perfectly round, and there was no difference between them. Wang Lan doubted how the 70% fire attribute and the 30% yang attribute were tested. If the first step was wrong, then the subsequent steps would naturally be wrong. But the strange thing was that the second step could be reversed. When did the cultivation system of Takashi Hoshi become so casual? They could even choose to ignore and go straight to the next step. What happened to the rigor? If Wang Lan was an ordinary student, then he should take the college entrance examination, go to a good university, and then join a company or start his own business. Whether this path was smooth or not depended on his academic performance. There is only one way to improve his grades, and that was to do questions. Therefore, Wang Lan had always been clear about this path. But Wang Lan was now a Takashi Hoshi. His life path was more or less the college entrance examination, get into Cebu Gakuen, and then mix in the system of the Heavenly Sword Bureau, or join the Army or the Wasteland Reclaimer Corps. However, the college entrance examination for Takashi Hoshi did not rely on academic results, nor did it rely solely on answering questions. Takashi Hoshi required a Takashi Hoshi level, actual combat strength, cultivation, and Takashi Hoshi skills. Unknowingly, half a month had passed. After half a month of organizing and studying, Wang Lan finally understood the direction of the Takashi Hoshi system. Takashi Hoshi could be divided into two categories. The poor relied on self-abuse, while the rich relied on money. Where did the astral power come from? How did it exist? Until now, there was no solid system theory. At present, it was generally accepted that cell energy was the power of life. The most effective evidence for this was the Takashi Hoshi's ability to extract astral power from cells. However, this method is harmful to the body. Thinking about it, the cells were originally fine. If you took away the energy from the cells would lack nutrients and die. Human cells directly affected one's lifespan. Overdrafting the energy of cells was equivalent to overdrafting one's lifespan. However, what could be done without overdrafting the energy of cells? This was the only way to extract astral power. If the cells were overdraft, they could only eat more to make up for it. However, the way of the world was to reduce the excess and replenish the deficiency. No matter how much the deficiency was replenished, the overdraft was still the overdraft. Everyone knew this, so if possible, it was best to absorb soul orbs to increase astral power. The pure astral power in the soul orbs could completely replace the astral power in the cells. This was also why Songbo and the rest were hostile to Jiang Xinyu and the rest. It was purely out of jealousy. What kind of commoner children could become geniuses through hard work? In their hearts, they envied Jiang Xinyu and the rest for their good lives. Everyone's parents did not have the talent for Takashi Hoshi, but it was because their family was rich that they could afford soul orbs. Not only did they not need to extract energy from cells, but they could also rely on soul orbs to advance quickly. Why am I not from a rich family? Why am I not from a rich family? Even if I'm from the wild. However, most poor children did not have this kind of hatred for the rich. Although it seemed unfair, the world was unfair to begin with. The money of rich children did not grow on trees. The rich relied on money, while the poor relied on their hard lives. This was a clear example. However, this law was invalid in front of Wang Lan. Wang Lan was rich, very rich. As for how much money he had, Wang Lan was too lazy to count how many zeros there were under his bank account. However, even if Wang Lan wanted to spend money, there was no place for him to do so. Soul orbs only had two effects for Wang Lan, one skill point and one mana regeneration. No matter how much he spent, he would not exceed his astral power limit. Wang Lan had already tested this point many times in the trial field. When he was fighting the demon army, Wang Lan spent 100 points at a time, and in the end, it was purely to replenish his astral power and skill points. Skill points were good, and also quite good. However, skill points were limited by the astral power level and the character level. Even if he stacked all his skills to the silver level, what would he do? No matter how many skill points he had, they would only accumulate dust. Therefore, at the end of the day, leveling up his character was the most important thing. If he could level up his character, it would be worth it no matter how many skill points he spent. Secondly, he had to earn skill points to level up his skills and increase his strength. So here was the problem. Where was he going to get experience points? Why not? Let Wang Lan encounter a few more demons causing trouble, and then let Wang Lan coincidentally play a key role in destroying the demon scheme. The sky was not dark yet. Then there were only two ways: kill the beasts and challenge Takashi Hoshi. The trial field was closed for reorganization, and when it would reopen was another matter. If he wanted to challenge a star martial artist, there was indeed such a condition, but what reason should he use? Really set up an arena? He raised his head and looked at Songbo intentionally or unintentionally. Ding ling ling, the bell rang, signaling the end of class. It was lunchtime. The group of werewolves who were hungry for less than an hour did not even leave the classroom and directly rushed out of the window. The school cafeteria had a fixed amount of food, and if they were late, there would not even be soup. Only the children from rich families or Takashi Hoshi families slowly stood up and left the classroom. The takeout will arrive in 10 minutes. Let's wait a bit. Su Xiangwen looked at his phone and said, since the first day of school, Wang Lan and the other three had taken turns ordering takeout. To the cafeteria, he could only see a mess. Wang Lan, what's wrong with you this morning? Jiang Xinyu asked faintly as she tidied up the books on the table. What? Wang Lan turned around with a confused expression. Your gaze fell on Song Bo 17 times today. Is there anything wrong with him? Before answering this question, answer me first. How bored were you this morning? I looked at Song Bo 17 times. Did you count them all? Teacher is talking about things that I know, so it doesn't matter if I listen or not. But what's wrong with you? Don't tell me that you feel sorry for each other because you don't know each other. The corner of Wang Lan's mouth twitched. This woman's brain really couldn't be understood with common sense. I just want to find a reason to beat him again. Just because of this? Yes. Do you still need a reason? Just walk over and beat him up. If you want to be more polite, say something more. Songbo classmate, please enlighten me. This. Wang Lan looked at Jiang Xinyu's confident tone and felt that she had done this many times. Then what about more than once? Did he offend you again? No, recently I really want to beat people up, and it's best if I beat up Takashi Hoshi people. Those who are weaker than me. I can beat them up 8 to 10 times a day. After a year, it'll be about the same. Wang Lan's voice floated out of the classroom. Song Bo, who had forgotten to take his spoon, stopped in his tracks at the corner of the stairs. Cold sweat dripped down his face. After being beaten up by Wang Lan once, he was already well behaved. At least he couldn't be unconvinced by Wang Lan's strength. He thought that if he didn't provoke Wang Lan in the future, he could live in peace. But he didn't expect. You're still thinking about beating me up for no reason? 8 to 10 times a day? For a year? F***CK. Change classes. I have to change classes. Otherwise, I might really be beaten to death. In the end, Song Bo didn't dare to enter the classroom to get his spoon. He only knew that this afternoon, Song Bo avoided Wang Lan. A day passed by just like that. Wang Lan expressed that he was very anxious. Other than the 10 experience points and 1 skill point from today's battle training, he didn't gain anything else. But with so little experience and skill points, it wasn't even enough to fill the gaps between his teeth. At the bus stop, Wang Lan was bored to death as he swept his gaze over the hurried men and women. Suddenly, his gaze was attracted by the billboard at the bus stop. The third episode of the Sioux City Takashi Hoshi competition is waiting for you to battle. It was a very beautiful poster with a very hot-blooded slogan. Sioux City Takashi Hoshi competition. Wanlon had heard of it before. It seemed to be a very popular program in Sioux City, especially when the first episode was released. During the prime time, tens of thousands of people turned out. The popularity lasted for half a year. But at that time, Wanlon only heard about it from his classmates. He didn't watch it himself. He was already in high school, but he still watched variety shows. He still watched TV. Could it be that the reading comprehension wasn't interesting enough? The mathematical symbols weren't good? The political thinking wasn't good enough? The English words weren't beautiful. At that time, Wanlon didn't pay attention to the outside world. He only loved to study. Who would have thought that unknowingly, he had already reached the third episode? Returning to Sinew Building by car, Wanlon didn't waste any time in the cultivation room. Xiao AI, help me order takeout. Also, turn on the computer. I want to check something. Okay. Wanlon, how about the stone pot rice? It's too hot. I can't eat it on such a hot day. How about the sirloin steak? You'll get diarrhea, right? Forget it. It's too hard for an artificial intelligence like you to understand the taste. Let's have a 3-person luxury carnival at Lighthouse Restaurant. Okay. When Wanlon came to the study after taking a shower, the computer was already turned on. He opened the browser and entered the Sioux City Takashi Hoshi competition. The official website popped up instantly. The homepage was registration, waiting for you to battle. The Takashi Hoshi competition was held every autumn. No one knew how long it lasted. It seemed that there was a preliminary round, an official round, and then rounds of duels. Finally, the champion was decided. There was no second or third place on this stage. There was no first to 10th place. This stage was a competition. There was only one winner. This was also the difference from a talent show. It was both a variety show and a competition. There were no live referees. There were only losers in the ring and winners standing. Because of the popularity of this show, it seemed that the champions of the first and second episodes didn't just win the competition prize. They also became Takashi Hoshi celebrities. Chapter 60. Since it was an arena tournament, it would naturally be a competition between Takashi Hoshi players. Wanlon was originally looking for an excuse to fight with others to earn experience and skill points, but when he saw this arena tournament, he suddenly had an idea. The main page was the registration page, and below the registration page was a customer service. As soon as he opened the page, he saw an advertisement for the Takashi Hoshi tournament. Wanlon connected to the customer service, and the other party's gentle and friendly voice sounded from the speaker. Hello, dear customer. Customer service number 100 is at your service. Hello, how can I help you? I would like to inquire about the registration and competition process of the Takashi Hoshi tournament. Okay, sir. Are you a Takashi Hoshi player? Do you want to register yourself? I am interested, but I need to understand the situation. Will this tournament announce the contestants' information? Or is it possible to participate in the tournament without revealing the contestants' information? Yes, there's an option in the registration form to choose whether or not you want to participate anonymously. If you do, then your information will be kept strictly confidential by the organizers. Also, when participating in the competition, we will allow the contestants to wear masks or other items to cover their faces. If you don't choose to remain anonymous, your information will be used as material for our publicity. I personally recommend that you make your information public. The winner of the Takashi Hoshi tournament not only wins the prize money, but also has a chance to become a big star. The previous 2 winners of the Takashi Hoshi tournament have developed very well. Perhaps you will be the next one? I don't really care about that. How many opponents do I have to defeat in order to win the Takashi Hoshi tournament? Wanlon calculated. If there were 10 people, it would be 10 experience points. If there were 100 people, it would be 1,000 experience points. If there were 200 people, it would be a lot easier to defeat everyone. Looking at how arrogant this guy was, Wanlon suddenly realized that she might not be as weak as she thought after learning that her strength was at the forefront of Sioux City's Zhejiang. Although the awakening time was not long, the cheat was too big. If you become the champion of the Takashi Hoshi tournament, you will have defeated all the contestants. Would you like to register? If necessary, please complete the registration on the website. Are there any requirements for Takashi Hoshi's level? No. When is the competition? Can students participate? As long as you have a Takashi Hoshi certificate, you can participate even if you're a child. The competition is usually held during the rest days or at night. Moreover, our program is not a live broadcast. If the contestants don't have enough time, they can also set a time. But the premise is that you have to enter the top 50. There were only 100 contestants participating in the competition, but the number of people who had signed up had already reached 500. Many contestants from other places had specially come to Sioux City to participate in the Takashi Hoshi tournament. If you would like to sign up, please do so as soon as possible. The registration will be closed at noon tomorrow. After understanding the situation, Wang Lan quickly opened the registration form and filled in his personal information. He carefully checked if he wanted to reveal his identity as a Takashi Hoshi to participate in the Takashi Hoshi tournament. Only then did he click on the submit button. Wang Lan did not care about money. What he wanted were experience points and skill points. Setting up an arena by himself was too ostentatious. Wang Lan was such a low-key person that he would not do such a thing. Since there was a third party organizing a similar competition and he could participate anonymously, he did not mind signing up. After signing up, he could download the detailed process of the competition. However, when Wang Lan saw the process, he was dumbfounded. He had been too excited when signing up. In addition, he had been misled by the customer service. Wang Lan had subconsciously thought that this competition was a challenge. It meant that he had to defeat everyone and withstand everyone's challenges to win. Wang Lan had thought that the Takashi Hoshi tournament was a challenge, but it was actually a promotion competition. For example, if there were 100 official contestants, they would fight one-on-one. In the end, 50 people would advance. Wang Lan only needed to defeat one person to eliminate 50 people. If that was the case, even if he became the champion, he would not have experienced many battles. He would not gain much experience points. Just as Wang Lan was hesitating whether or not he should cancel his registration, he inadvertently glanced at the system in his mind and found that a mission was in progress. The notification that the mission was in progress was like light to Wang Lan. It was love. Every time he completed a mission, the generous rewards made Wang Lan salivate. He clicked on the mission notification. The description below was so simple that it made one's hair stand on end. Mission in progress. Participate in the Sioux City Takashi Hoshi tournament. The next day, Wang Lan went to school. He found that the Takashi Hoshi tournament was indeed very popular. He had just signed up, but the program announcement was already in full swing. There's still a week before the Takashi Hoshi tournament starts, but I still have to practice my newly learned Takashi Hoshi skills. What should I do? If I watch TV without learning the Takashi Hoshi skills, I'll be beaten to death by my dad. A classmate suddenly complained after class. Obviously, this person's focus was on his newly learned Takashi Hoshi skills. But because of this, it started a heated discussion about the Takashi Hoshi tournament. Really? There's still a week before it starts? I just saw the advertisement the day before yesterday. I thought it would take at least half a month. What's there to look forward to? The Takashi Hoshi tournament is just a variety show. When I watched the first episode, I was a bit suspicious. How could two people fight so well? I was just comparing notes with my classmates, but I was so battered and exhausted. It's all a trick. Yes, especially the second episode. When the dirty tricks were revealed, this show was ruined. Don't look at strength, just look at appearance. The winner and loser has long been decided. The top 7 all have powerful backgrounds, and those who signed up are all here to accompany the prince. You can't say that. Since ancient times, true feelings can't keep people. Only tricks can win people's hearts. Do the audience care about what they fight for? The average audience doesn't understand the battle between Takashi Hoshi stars. Take the champion of the second season, Li Mingfeng, for example. He's strong, at the peak of star blazing, and his dragon wave is boundless. He's so popular in the past year. So many fans like him. Do you think they like Li Mingfeng's strength? They just want his body. I really feel wrong for Yi Shaoqin. She's clearly so much stronger than Li Mingfeng, but in the end, she could only lose. If you don't lose, you'll be violating the contract and have to pay a huge sum of money. TSK, TSK, TSK. Why don't you just stop fighting? Just do a catwalk and strike a pose. After all, he's a Takashi Hoshi star. No matter what, he has to fight a little. Also, didn't the Takashi Hoshi tournament say that it's a competition but also a variety show? Any accidents that happen in the show? Yes, it's the show's effect. For example, the fake fight is just the show's effect. Anyway, the whole world is fake and they're real. They're shameless. If they're shameless, would they do something like that? Wang Lan panicked when he heard his classmates mocking the Takashi Hoshi tournament. Did he get cheated when he signed up? He turned around, looked at Jiang Xinyu, and asked in a low voice, "Is what they're saying true?" Yes. Jiang Xinyu put down her book and said indifferently, "The first season of the Takashi Hoshi tournament was a complete success, so the second season started messing around. They held the Takashi Hoshi tournament in the style of a variety show. In the end, it became a variety show that sold dog meat under the sheep's head. Its reputation plummeted, and the internet criticized it. Basically, the IP was destroyed. We've already become a target of scorn. Why is there a third season? Because the producers changed the third season, and the executive director was changed at the request of the producers. They wanted the show to be completely based on the real competition and create a new Takashi Hoshi tournament. This time, the organizers of the Takashi Hoshi tournament specially invited famous Takashi Hoshi masters in Sioux City to participate in the tournament. They wanted to create a real Takashi Hoshi tournament. I think, with director Min Jian's ability, we can still look forward to the third season. What's wrong? Why are you looking at me like that? Xinyu, are you a Baidu encyclopedia? How do you know everything when I ask you? Yesterday, when I was doing my homework, an advertisement suddenly popped up on my computer. I clicked on it and glanced at it. Haha, fake. You must have thought of signing up for the tournament, right? Otherwise, with your personality, you would never pay attention to something you don't care about. Wang Lan felt that if he was attracted by the advertisement and wanted to sign up, Jiang Xinyu, who was young and thirsty for battle, would also be tempted. So, she carefully looked at the strategy guide or something. I just glanced at it and closed it. Why would you think that I would want to sign up for the tournament? Jiang Xinyu looked puzzled. You can remember the content with just a glance? Do you think you're a scanner? I've been like this since I was young. Aren't you the same? Jiang Xinyu stared at Wang Lan with her big eyes. I really am not. Let's just watch. Sign up? Don't you want to lose face? Mai Gitsuk Castle smiled and sat down next to Wang Lan. A true genius like Jiang Xinyu classmate would never participate in this kind of boring tournament. Why? Is it embarrassing? Think about it. Even if this tournament is modified into a real tournament, how can we, a group of students who have never officially participated in a real battle, fight against veterans who have experienced many real battles? That's just asking for trouble. Those who aren't at the peak of star blazing don't even think about entering the top 10. Even if Xinyu is Nebula, she might not necessarily be a match for someone at the peak of star blazing who has experienced countless real battles in the ring. If even Xinyu can't do it, then the others can't either. The Takashi Hoshi tournament either wins the championship. If we don't win the championship, then we'll lose face in the future. When we become famous and strong in the future, there will occasionally be a middle-aged man at the level of star blazing who will say to the media, "Look, this is the expert you're bragging about. He was once defeated by me. TSK, TSK, TSK. What kind of people are participating in the Takashi Hoshi tournament? Nebula and above? Impossible. Who has the time to do this? Impossible for soldiers, impossible for pioneers, and impossible for us students. Isn't it just a bunch of Takashi Hoshi who have no ambition in the big cities? Now that you say it like that, it makes sense." Participating in the Takashi Hoshi tournament really did seem like a rash decision. Fortunately, He had chosen to remain anonymous. When the time came, he could just wear a mask and participate. At the beginning, participating in the Takashi Hoshi tournament wasn't essential. But when the system notified him that the quest was in progress, it was completely different. That represented a large amount of EXP and skill points. After lunch, Wang Lan received a message on his phone. It was a notice from the organizers of the Takashi Hoshi tournament. The preliminaries would be held this Saturday and Sunday at the Sioux City Stadium. Bring your personal identification and Takashi Hoshi ID with you, and 100 people will be selected to participate in the official Takashi Hoshi tournament. Chapter 61. On the weekend, Wang Lan wore a tight t-shirt and a pair of jeans. He took Ghost Weep and went out. When he arrived at the sushi stadium, there was already a sea of people outside. If his classmates were to be described as delinquents, then the crowd outside the stadium was a large scale of non-mainstream punk and even anime wuxia characters cosplay. Most of the people present were dressed in styles that could only be imagined by others. There were girls wearing miniskirts that revealed their white legs, but their faces were painted with watermarks. There were muscular men wearing sleeveless vests covered with rivets, with big bald heads and a string of braids at the back. Who knew what hobbies they had? There were men wearing aishidao, swordsmen with nose rings, lolas carrying two-handed swords and maces. In any case, Wang Lan could not understand the taste of these Takashi Hoshi. However, Wang Lan's image perfectly blended in with this group of non-mainstream people. At this moment, Wang Lan was wearing a moon-white mask. Even if he was dressed normally, wearing a mask would not be too normal. Although the Takashi Hoshi's appearance was rough and their image was very unique, they still followed the rules and lined up. They entered the stadium with their Takashi Hoshi cards. When they entered the stadium, everyone was given a number. This was their identification number. At this moment, the stadium's large square was divided into 20 fighting rings. Today and tomorrow, 800 Takashi Hoshi would compete here. After a few rounds of preliminaries, 100 official contestants would be selected. Wang Lan registered late, so his number was 700. The preliminaries were not broadcasted, and no audience was arranged to watch the competition. This was a selection by the organizers of the Takashi Hoshi tournament. On the grandstand that could accommodate 20,000 people, there were 800 contestants who had signed up for the competition, sparsely seated. Wang Lan casually found a seat and sat down. The organizers' loudspeakers loudly announced the process and rules of the preliminaries. After the competition began, it would be a normal sparring match. Those who were knocked out of the ring, voluntarily admitted defeat, and no longer had the strength to continue fighting, would be judged as the loser. The organizers had hired a professional doctor, Takashi Hoshi, so that the contestants would have no worries. They were very considerate. I'll go. Do you want to fight? Aren't we competing in looks? I even put on makeup for 3 hours. F***. How can I fight with the clothes I'm wearing today? Are you kidding me? Many Takashi Hoshi fans cursed on the spot when they found out that the qualifiers were really going to be a battle selection. Wang Lan was a little confused. Wasn't it written in the entry notice? She was really chosen for the show? Hello. Suddenly, a voice came into his ear. Wang Lan turned his head to look, where was a young man who was so thin that almost no flesh could be seen. Wang Lan had met him once before. Hello? Wang Lan nodded and replied, I didn't expect you to be participating in the Takashi Hoshi tournament. The other party's words confirmed Wang Lan's identity. Wang Lan turned his head to look at the other party. The other party smiled slightly, and his gaze fell on the ghost weep in Wang Lan's hand. Wang Lan smiled. So you recognize me based on this? I overlooked it. Not really. You didn't expect to meet me here. Did you participate anonymously? Seeing that Wang Lan was wearing a mask, he guessed. Yes. Why did you want to participate in the Takashi Hoshi tournament? I guess you're still a student, right? The other party was very friendly, but it could also be that he was trying to fish for information. Wang Lan was bored, and it was good to have someone to talk to. To train for actual combat. Wang Lan replied briefly. Actual combat? The other party was very surprised. You participated in the Takashi Hoshi tournament for actual combat? Don't you know that the first 2 episodes of the Takashi Hoshi tournament were fake? Oh, I didn't know. The key to actual combat is to kill the enemy in one move, but do you dare to do that in the ring? No one can kill the enemy in one move. How can you fight well? How can you fight well? How can you fight well? The skinny bamboo's face showed a sarcastic smile. How can a Takashi Hoshi fight be so exciting? Is this season also fake like the previous ones? Wang Lan was puzzled. If it was fake, no one told him how to fake it. This season's organizers seem to be promoting actual combat. But with the reputation of the previous 2 episodes, who knows if it's real or fake? Maybe it's not this season. But let me tell you, when you fight a real Takashi Hoshi, they won't dawdle with you. They don't have the slightest warning before they make a move. Once they make a move, life and death will be decided in an instant. Wang Lan looked at the other party's sincere eyes and nodded silently. These words, Huang Feilong had solemnly told Wang Lan these words. Wang Lan also encountered them in the trial field. The Takashi Hoshi who suddenly appeared and tried to get close to his teammates. If it weren't for Jiang Sinyu's strength, their team would have been finished. The other party made a move to kill. Wang Lan didn't see how Su Xiangwen's 2 doppelgangers were instantly killed. But not all students have actual combat experience like Wang Lan. Even if there are many simulations, they're not actual combat. Do you want to believe that the battle between Takashi Hoshi is really so harmonious? When the time comes, you won't even know how you died. Not everyone would easily say these words to someone they didn't know. Thank you, Wang Lan replied calmly. Right? Why did you come to participate in the Takashi Hoshi tournament? Are you like them before you debut to become famous? Famous? The other party laughed disdainfully. In the eyes of ordinary people, I'm famous. But in the eyes of a real Takashi Hoshi, it's a disgrace. What do you mean? Warriors are on the battlefield, while entertainers are in the palace. Takashi Hoshi are warriors who protect human civilization, not entertainers who play to the gallery. Takashi Hoshi is not an art, and it's not something to be admired. Wang Lan's lips curled into a smile, but he didn't think much of it. After saying so much, aren't you still here? I'm here for the money. Money. If you successfully enter the top 13, you'll get 100,000 yuan reward. If you enter the top 7, 200,000 yuan, 400,000 yuan, 1 million yuan for the semifinals, and the champion, 3 million yuan. I just want to get that money, and I'll leave after I get it. Are you short of money? Yes. The other party laughed and looked at the arena. The competition had already begun. My name is Hu Qing. Wang Lan. Wang Lan replied quietly. Takashi Hoshi shouldn't be short of money. Takashi Hoshi have benefits, and even if they do jobs that ordinary people can do, their wages are much higher than ordinary people's. If they don't need money, who would come here? Wang Lan didn't say anything. He just listened. Hu Qing seemed to be looking for someone to pour out his grievances, but Wang Lan didn't want to be his audience. One reason was that they weren't familiar with each other. Hu Qing seemed to have realized something. He quickly shut up and focused on the competition in front of him. Wang Lan, look at contestant number 77. His swordsmanship is very sharp and steady. His swordsmanship, especially his swordsmanship and swordsmanship, is very skillful and beautiful. If he suddenly changed his swordsmanship and used his left-hand swordsmanship to kill the enemy by surprise on the battlefield. However, the opponent he was facing was much weaker than him in terms of saber techniques. If it was a real fight, contestant number 77 should have knocked away contestant number 90 SIXS swordsmanship and then cut off his head with a backhand swordsmanship. At that time, even a god wouldn't be able to save him, let alone a Takashi Hoshi. But in order to show off his swordsmanship and swordsmanship, he frequently changed his swordsmanship and swordsmanship, making so many moves that are beautiful but useless. If you meet him, be careful of his left-hand swordsmanship. His left hand is stronger than his right. Okay. Wang Lan listened quietly to Hu Qing's explanation and analyzed the situation in front of him. Hu Qing's eyesight was very sharp, and he was very experienced. There were many questions in his explanation that even Wang Lan ignored or didn't think of at all. For the whole morning, there were nearly 200 matches. Wang Lan and Hu Qing didn't fight. The first round of the preliminaries would definitely end on the first day, so their matches should be in the afternoon. At noon, the preliminaries were suspended. All the contestants left the venue to have lunch outside. The matches would continue at 1:30 in the afternoon. In fact, half of the contestants had already left directly after the matches. The winners would fight the second match tomorrow, and the losers would naturally be eliminated. "Let's go." Wang Lan stood up and said, "No need. I brought food." Hu Qing smiled and patted the package beside him. Wang Lan stood up and left. When Wang Lan's figure turned around the venue, Hu Qing picked up the package and put it on his lap. He then slowly opened it. In the package, there was only a white steamed bun, which was as big as an egg. Hu Qing wolfed down the steamed bun, then unscrewed the cup of water and gulped it down. After swallowing the steamed bun, he opened his mouth and smiled in satisfaction. "The stadium is so big. After going one round, I actually came back here." Wang Lan's voice rang out, making Hu Qing tremble. His face immediately turned a little red. "Speaking of which, I learned a lot from listening to you talk about a lot of things to pay attention to and tricks in actual combat this morning. It's not hard for me to treat you to a meal, right?" Wang Lan slowly took off his mask. "Moreover, we still have a match in the afternoon. I don't want to see you tomorrow because you didn't eat enough." "Okay." The other party wasn't a pretentious person. After hearing Wang Lan's words, he stood up and walked over to Wang Lan. "Hu Qing, if I fight in actual combat, will I be breaking the rules?" "Of course not. Since the Takashi Hoshi tournament is advertised as a real battle, what's wrong with you fighting in actual combat? But you can't kill people. What are you thinking about?" "Of course, we won't kill people in a martial arts competition. I just want to know if I'll be expelled if I don't follow their rules." "Haha, I'll give it a try. What kind of trouble did you encounter? Even if your family is in trouble, it shouldn't be to this extent, right?" Wang Lan recalled the scene he had just seen. This couldn't be described as poor anymore. It was simply heart-wrenching. Who would have thought that the great Takashi Hoshi would eat a steam bun that could be swallowed in one bite? Hu Qing smiled bitterly and shook his head. "My sister is in the late stage of bone cancer. The doctor advised us to give up, but we didn't want to. Even if I had to risk my life, she would live for as long as she could live." Wang Lan didn't ask any more questions. He lowered his head and ate the food in front of him. "It's about time. It's time to go to the stadium." Not long after the afternoon match started, Hu Qing's number was called. "Little brother, it's my turn. Actual combat. Actual combat. What if the opponent wants to watch it? He won't, unless he wants to lose." Hu Qing turned around and walked off the stage. He then entered ring 16. The match began. The moment the referee's whistle landed, Hu Qing's body suddenly tilted forward like a sharp sword piercing into the opponent's face. Chapter 62. Hu Qing's opponent should be a swordsman. Before the referee blew the whistle, the swordsman raised his sword and pointed it at Hu Qing from afar. His long bangs hung over the bridge of his nose. He lowered his head slightly, and his hair swayed slightly under his nose. The field was silent, but his opponent was dressed in snow-white clothes, and his windbreaker danced like a cloak. Judging from his appearance, he had the style of an ancient white-robed swordsman. The moment Hu Qing rushed over, his opponent's eyes lit up, and his star power surged around him. The sword in his hand emitted a dazzling light as if it had been electrified. Chi chi chi. Several sword chi slashed out, turning into crescent-shaped blades that slashed at Hu Qing one after another. The eyes of the organizers and judges sitting on the high platform suddenly lit up, and they nodded repeatedly. The sword chi is unstoppable, and his body movements are elegant. Very interesting. Contestant number 360 is also very good-looking. With this appearance and his sword chi, he should be able to quickly gather popularity. Maybe he'll be another Li Mingfeng. Contestant number 500 is too thin. Although he's very refined, he can only be a villain. Judging from his movements, he's a melee type. A melee type basically has no chance of winning against a long-range mage. Besides, number 360 is holding a long sword, while number 500 is barehanded. There should be no suspense for number 360 to advance. There were no judges to commentate in the preliminaries, and even if there were, they would do so in private. But for some reason, after lunch, the judges' microphones were turned on, and several judges had commented on a few matches after the end. But this was the first time that they had commented on a match that had just begun before the results were out. Listen, what was this saying? A melee type has no chance of winning against a long-range mage? This conclusion refreshed Wang Lan's worldview on the spot. Could it be that the textbooks were wrong? Long-range mage and melee types restrained each other. Melee types were also divided into tanks, warriors, and assassins. Even warriors were divided into meat warriors and agility warriors. Did you say that a mage restrained a warrior? Come on, I'll give you an assassin. Show me your tank. Wang Lan withdrew his gaze from the stands and finally understood the meaning of Myget Suk Castle's disdainful tone. To be evaluated by a bunch of judges who didn't know anything at all and still have to humbly address them as teacher, this feeling was indeed disgusting. At this moment, Hu Qing had successfully evaded the oncoming sword Qi and arrived at the entrance of number 360. Hu Qing's eyes were as sharp as a wolf's as she stared at number 360's eyes. Number 360 began to panic. Unable to stop Hu Qing from approaching, he decisively raised his sword and unleashed a sword technique. But in Wang Lan's eyes, how could no? 360's sword technique be considered a sword technique? It was a saber technique. Clearly, the other party had never learned the art of swordsmanship and had only learned the basics of it. She didn't learn the essence, but she did learn the elegance. Hu Qing moved close to his opponent's sword light and entered his defensive perimeter. Then he stabbed out with both hands. Boom, boom, boom. After a few muffled thuds, contestant number 360 was sent flying into the air before flying backward. Wow, what's going on? Did anyone see it clearly? In front of the judges, the two hosts raised their microphones and asked in an exaggerated manner. Regardless of how strong or weak the Takashi Hoshi players were, they could more or less see what had happened. Quick, turn on a live replay for us. Let's see what happened. Heavens, contestant number 500 unleashed 8 karate strikes in an instant, striking number 360's body and sending him flying. These 8 karate strikes were all unleashed within a single second. As expected of a Takashi Hoshi player, he's actually able to unleash a punch so fast that the naked eye can only capture it with a high-resolution camera. All the Takashi Hoshi players in the audience shuddered awkwardly. They all turned to look at the two hosts who were performing enthusiastically on stage. It turned out that they were also rehearsing. Hu Qing had insta-killed his opponent. Before his opponent had even landed on the ground, Hu Qing turned and walked toward the spectator stands. What is contestant number 500 doing? Contestant number 360 still hasn't admitted defeat. No, contestant number 360 is standing up again. The match isn't over yet. Contestant number 360 is down again. Hu Qing returned to her seat. Wang Lan turned to her. Congratulations. There's nothing to congratulate. On a battlefield like this, I can kill him in an instant. However, did you see anything? Set a firm goal. Don't waste any unnecessary movements or excess star power. Defeat your opponent in the fastest way you're best at. Also, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Leave room to dodge or block Takashi Hoshi's attacks. I'm an Earth Elemental. Before the attack, my star power had been mobilizing the Earth Wall's defense. If the opponent has other killer moves and I can't dodge, I can activate the Earth Wall to buy me time to dodge. Understood. Contestant number 700, please come to ring 15 for the preliminaries. Wang Lan stood up and put on his mask again. He carried Ghost Weep on his back, straightened his body, and slowly walked toward the ring. Old Iron Gate. Old Fan is about to start the first round of preliminaries. I thought it was just a formality. I didn't expect it to be a real fight, but I'm still very confident in Old Fan. You guys should know that with Old Fan's looks and strength, this kind of small competition is a piece of cake. Old Fan specially rushed to the south from the northeast. As soon as he got off the plane, he felt like he was going to get a heat stroke. The summer in the south is too hot. It's already past the beginning of autumn, but the temperature is still above 40 degrees. And it's stuffy and stuffy. Seeing that Old Fan is still streaming on such a hot day, it's not too much to reward him with a sports car, right? Come on, Old Iron Gate, let's send the gifts. Old Fan is shamelessly asking for gifts again. Old Fan, how cruel is your wife to you? A great Takashi Hoshi was forced to perform on the streets? Old Fan, yesterday you said you didn't eat for a day and asked for a reward. Then I saw you eat a King cow. You liar. Wang Lan had just stood in the ring when the contestant opposite him walked over while arguing with the idiotic netizens. What was he here for? Contestant number 700. Contestant number 530. Are you ready? The judge wearing sunglasses asked calmly. Yes. The contestant on the other side made an okay gesture. Old Fan, we don't ask for much. We just want to lose with dignity. Lose? How can Old Fan lose? Have you forgotten that Old Fan is a pure man from the Northeast? His fighting strength is off the charts. Although he's not acclimatized to the South, the only thing that affects Old Fan's fighting strength is your rewards. Send the gifts. Your gifts are Old Fan's motivation. The more gifts you send, the harder Old Fan fights. I guarantee that you'll enjoy watching. I'll switch to the camera on my hat and let you experience the first-person perspective of a Takashi Hoshi warrior. The contestant put away his phone. At this moment, the referee's whistle sounded. The competition has begun. Send the gifts quickly. Rockets, rockets, send 4 rockets. I'll finish the battle in 3 seconds. Hurry, he's coming. He's coming. He's a melee fighter like Old Fan. A melee fight is a rare opportunity. There are only 3 seconds left. The battle begins. Old Fan suddenly stomped on the ground. His astral power burst out in an instant and swept into the distance like an explosive airwave. This was Old Fan's Takashi Hoshi's vibrating light wave. It released a 360-degree shockwave without any blind spots and swept across the surroundings, knocking away all the enemies who came close. This was a very practical Takashi Hoshi technique. It was limited to the range, not the number of people. The closer the distance, the more powerful it was. Boom! The scene of Wang Lan's figure flying backward did not happen. Old Fan took a step forward to chase after him, but there was no trace of Wang Lan in front of him. Where is he? A hand patted Old Fan's shoulder. Old Fan turned around. In an instant, a fist the size of a sandbag became bigger and brighter in front of his eyes. Boom, boom, boom. The 3 punches were almost a triangular bombardment on Old Fan's chest. Old Fan's eyes instantly bulged out of their sockets. His eyes were bloodshot. When Wang Lan withdrew, Old Fan knelt on the ground, clutching his stomach. Contestant number 700 wins. Brothers, it's time to send gifts. He did it. He really did it. Old Fan has fooled us so many times, but this time he didn't go back on his word. He said he would finish the battle in 3 seconds, and he did it. He bet his dignity and honor to let us see the battle end in 3 seconds. A battle that was finished. Old Fan is really a genius. Think about it. In the past few months, has Old Fan succeeded in anything he wanted to do? No, he did it this time. I remember the time. 3 seconds. It really was 3 seconds. Not a second more. Speaking of which, Old Fan is actually very strong. He's a wolf in the Northeast. Of course, Old Fan is a star-blazing Takashi Hoshi after all. He's been with the Wasteland Reclamation team and mining with the Takashi Hoshi team. He's good at everything. I've known Old Fan for almost a year, and I've never seen him lose in a real fight. How can a wolf from the north turn into a husky in the south? That masked man is so strong. He actually defeated Old Fan in a second? Stop talking about other men. Are you still Old Fan's fans? Anyway, I've sent my rockets. Old Fan is a man of his word, and so am I. However, let me laugh for a while. I'm almost out of breath. Old Fan was carried down just like that. The medical awakened Takashi Hoshi judged that Old Fan was not injured, but his internal organs were shaken. He would be fine after resting for half a day. Hu Qing suddenly turned to look at Wang Lan, who was buried under the mask, and asked calmly, "Have you experienced actual combat? Does the training field count? It seems that I've underestimated you. I always thought that you were a student who didn't know anything just because you were young. It turns out that you already have actual combat experience." Dear contestants of the Takashi Hoshi tournament, the first round of elimination has been completed. A total of 400 contestants have emerged victorious. These 400 contestants will be reassigned electronic numbers tomorrow, and the second and third rounds of preliminaries will be carried out tomorrow. Contestants who have made it to the second round, please gather here tomorrow at 7:30 a.m. as usual. You've completed the first round of the Takashi Hoshi tournament preliminaries. You're rewarded with 600 EXP and 50 skill points. Wang Lan, who had just stood up and was about to leave, suddenly stopped in his tracks. A notification sounded in his mind. I'm rewarded with 600 EXP and 50 skill points just by participating in one competition. This is the reward for defeating 50 people in the challenge. Moreover, according to the system's notification, this was a cyclic advancement mission. This meant that completing the second round would definitely be more than completing the first round. The reward for completing the official competition would be more than the reward for completing the preliminaries. 60 skill points was pathetically little compared to the reward for the previous mission. However, this was only the first round. If he could persevere until he became the champion, the rewards might not be less than what he had gained in the beginner training field. Happy as he took the bus home, he did not expect that the footage of today's preliminaries would be edited into a music video by the promoters. The gorgeous fighting scene, coupled with the blood-boiling PGM, immediately shot to the top of the music charts as soon as the official advertisement song for the Takashi Hoshi tournament was released. Chapter 63. The TV on the bus was playing the scene of the winners of the preliminaries. Watching it live didn't feel any excitement, but after editing it and playing it, the excitement level was raised to the maximum. At the end of the many close-up shots, Wang Lan and Hu Qing won. It was clearly a one-hit victory, but through the editing of the music video and the rhythm of the music, Hu Qing and Wang Lan looked like they had gone through a fierce battle and used their ultimate move to kill their opponents. The camera screen split into two, and the two rushed at their opponents at almost the same time. Hu Qing nimbly dodged his opponent's sword chi, while Wang Lan, who was wearing a mask, turned into a gust of wind. When the opponent's chi wave exploded, he chopped down with his palm and sliced apart the exploding chi wave. Then, he swam behind his opponent like a dragon. He patted his opponent's shoulder affectionately and instantly defeated his opponent with 3 punches. His nimble movements, coupled with the cool mask, instantly created a 3-dimensional image in the minds of the audience. Before the music reached its climax, there was a gap. 3 seconds. I finished the battle in 3 seconds. KO. The hot-blooded scene made the audience's scalp tingle. Almost all the audience who saw this music video only had one word in their mind. I want to see it. That night, the comments section of the organizer's website exploded. Damn, the preliminaries this time are actually actual battles? It's different from last year. Don't tell me they're playing for real. The third season of the Takashi Hoshi competition was advertised as a real battle between Takashi Hoshi contestants. I thought they were just saying that they were just changing the soup, but not the medicine. I didn't expect there to be something to it. TSK, I just cut a pre-filmed video, and you're all fooled like this. Anyway, I don't believe they're playing for real. A talent show is a talent show. Trash shows will be hated for life. My friend went to participate. He came back and said it was a preliminary round, a real battle. Is the friend you're talking about you? A friend made from nothing. This season's Takashi Hoshi competition is explosive. Although there were promotions in the past, the effect was not as good as this year's. That's right. Their promotional model uses the promotional model of a blockbuster movie. They cut out the exciting plot and bombard all at once. Every frame of those exciting scenes makes people want to turn back and watch the whole battle. I'm looking forward to the official matches. Anticipation +1, fake, is fake. Anyway, I don't believe it. These are all directed, just like the promotional videos of a movie. Those contestants are all actors. They must be actors. I heard that in order to recover the ratings, the organizers of Sioux City spent a lot of money to hire a genius variety director to be in charge of the production. Sure enough, the results were immediate. Every time I see the advertisement, I have the urge to watch it. Let's return to reality and stop following the script. I have a different opinion from the person above. Even though I know it's fake, but it's so enjoyable to watch. The law of fragrance +1 inch, the law of fragrance +2. The law of true fragrance +10086. Director Min, the publicity for the Takashi Hoshi tournament has gone viral. In the organizer's office of the Takashi Hoshi tournament, a staff member excitedly held up the statistics and said excitedly, "The first season of the Takashi Hoshi tournament was very popular. Because the second season did not capture the core, the organizers thought that the first season popularity was due to the appearance of a few idols. They eliminated the advantages of the first season, but kept the criticism. They faked the competition and fooled the audience. A popular program was ruined in the second season. This time, we changed the competition method and restored the real Takashi Hoshi battles. Coupled with the increased advertising, it's only natural that it became popular." Min Jian held his coffee and took a sip. The corners of his mouth curled up slightly. Even though he said it was only natural, he was very proud of it. The second season of the Takashi Hoshi tournament had not only suffered a decline in reputation, but it had also collapsed. In the later stages of the competition, the organizers helped the contestants in secret and even determined the outcome of the competition in advance. As a result, even ordinary people could see that the program was rigged. This time, when Min Jian accepted the Takashi Hoshi tournament, he changed his mind from the very beginning. Ordinary people were unfamiliar with Takashi Hoshi because Takashi Hoshi were active in the battlefield all year round to protect the world. They admired and were curious about Takashi Hoshi. They were eager to know the real Takashi Hoshi and the true colors of Takashi Hoshi. The real attraction of the Takashi Hoshi tournament was the reality. What the audience wanted was to see the real Takashi Hoshi battles. What bloody and violent. How could they not be interrogated? Bah, when Takashi Hoshi risked their lives, why didn't anyone criticize them for being bloody and violent? When mutated beasts killed ordinary people, why didn't anyone criticize them for being bloody and violent? There was no such thing as peace and quiet. It was the Takashi Hoshi who had been carrying the burden for everyone. Real battles would not make ordinary people feel bloody and violent. On the contrary, they would feel safe. The powerful Takashi Hoshi were the guardians of the Jade State. Who would dare to say that their battles were bloody and violent? If it wasn't bloody and violent, would they be able to live so comfortably? Takashi Hoshi were warriors, and warriors should fight real and hot-blooded battles. How are the comments on the internet? Min Jian asked faintly. Although we used a large number of ghostwriters, the reputation of the last episode has completely collapsed. Most people on the internet don't trust us and are even boycotting us. Our ghostwriters are trying their best to salvage the situation. Don't use ghostwriters. Facts speak louder than words. Let's use a real high-quality battle to make these comments disappear. Did you find any strong seeded contestants in the first round of the preliminaries? There weren't many in the first round. So far, we found 2 who might be experts. However, we still need to observe them if they aren't real experts. As for the rest, they haven't shown their strength yet. There must be crouching tigers and hidden dragons, but we haven't found them yet. Pay close attention. How many experts did we invite? Less than 10? After all, they don't trust our program. Okay, got it. Give me the information of the two experts you found. Wang Lan's current character level was Starlight 3. Basic combat, basic agility, and basic blade techniques were all Silver 2. Basic inch punch was Silver 5, Nebula Sword Dance was Silver 5, Flaming Blade was Silver 1, and Healing was Silver 9. In the world of Star Blazing, all of his skills were Silver level. This was a very dazzling number. If Bronze level skills were classified as professional level skills, then Silver level skills were classified as special level skills. For example, if a Star Blazing Takashi Hoshi player had a skill that reached Silver level, he could be said to be a special level Takashi Hoshi player. But when it came to Wang Lan, all of his skills were Silver level, and all of them were special level skills. He was so omnipotent that no one would believe him if he said it out loud. A person's energy was limited. It wasn't easy to train a skill to a special level in Star Blazing, let alone a special level skill. This was also why even though Wang Lan and old fans Takashi Hoshi were at the same level, Wang Lan was able to insta-kill old fan. In terms of skills, he crushed old fan to the point that he didn't even have the chance to use Takashi Hoshi. If he didn't insta-kill old fan, who would he insta-kill? The next morning, the second round of the preliminaries began. In order to determine the 100 official contestants, there were 3 rounds of matches. The second round was in the morning, followed by the second round in the afternoon. Wang Lan's new number was 44, which was a bit inauspicious. Just as he entered the Sioux City Stadium, Wang Lan immediately felt that the atmosphere wasn't right. Compared to yesterday, there were many more beautiful girls in the stadium, and each of them was holding up their phones to take pictures of the stadium. Friends watching Chocho's live broadcast, it's 7:40 in the morning, and Chocho is currently in the Sioux City Stadium. You guessed right, Chocho successfully snuck into the stadium. Chocho, did you say the voice-activated password correctly this time? Chocho's joke, I can laugh for a year. Don't ask how Chocho snuck in. He definitely didn't say the voice-activated password correctly. Yesterday, a lot of friends wanted Chocho to sneak into the Sioux City Stadium to broadcast the preliminaries of the Takashi Hoshi tournament. Chocho spent the whole night planning how to sneak in and even using his body as a backup plan. Fortunately, he didn't have to go through many twists and turns to successfully sneak in. So Chocho managed to keep his purity. But it seems that a lot of live streamers have snuck into the stadium. Should Chocho report them? Chocho, are you stupid? Didn't you sneak in too? Chocho is indeed ruthless. He won't even let himself off when he's angry. Just as Wang Lan was feeling puzzled, a beautiful live streamer happened to be sitting behind him. The stadium spectator stands were arranged in a staircase, and there were less than 500 people in the stadium that could hold 20,000 people. It was very sparse, so even if Chocho sat 2 rows behind Wang Lan, his line of sight wasn't blocked. He turned around and glanced at her, not wanting to look at her indecently. This masked big brother is very shy. He saw Chocho and quickly turned away. He must have been shocked by Chocho's beauty. Everyone, do you think Chocho should go and flirt with that big brother? Chocho, as someone who's been there before, let me tell you a secret. Big Brother's entertainment in the summer is go to the mall to take the escalator. Don't ask what's so fun about that. There are a lot of people who go there every summer. Good person upstairs. The bus stop is too hot. Why didn't I think of that when a mall has air conditioning? 2 wretched men. I despise you on behalf of the Safety Pants Gang. As a veteran in the live streaming industry, Chocho instantly realized something. This nearly 50-degree angle, in addition to the fact that there was no obstruction in the line of sight between them. Chocho hurriedly closed his legs together and pulled his skirt down. Chocho, the veteran, is blushing. Everyone, stop fooling around. The competition is about to start. Today, I'll let everyone experience the explosive special that was released yesterday. Chocho's camera is your first-person view. After a while, Chocho won't talk, so watch the competition carefully. At 8 o'clock sharp, the competition officially began. A moment before the competition began, Hu Qing dragged his tired face to the competition venue. Late? Something happened last night, so I didn't sleep at all. Hu Qing's eyes were red like a rabbit's. Because of the tight schedule, The organizers didn't give a long speech about the rules again. The competition soon began. The contestants whose numbers were called went up to start the competition. There were 20 arenas and 40 people competing on the same stage. Ordinary people who had never seen such a scene would naturally find it spectacular. Wow, the preliminaries are really one-on-one battles, and it's happening in all 20 arenas at the same time. This kind of victory can't be influenced by the outside world, and it's completely based on strength. I'm suddenly confident about the third season. Me too. Wang Lan didn't know what was so shocking about this, but the sound of gifts being sent from Qiuqiu's phone sounded like fireworks. Chapter 64. The quality of the second round was clearly a level higher than that of the first round. Actually, there weren't many people who faked their fights in the preliminaries. After all, the preliminaries were knockout rounds. If they didn't even participate in the official competition to show off, they would be idiots. Unless they had overwhelming strength, only then could they guarantee victory and act cool at the same time. Those who didn't know when to act cool had been eliminated yesterday. In the second round, many Takashi Hoshi contestants went straight to the point. Takashi Hoshi's skills were bombarded as if they didn't cost money. Some Takashi Hoshi contestants couldn't withstand the baptism of Takashi Hoshi skills in the first round and were eliminated. Some Takashi Hoshi contestants felt great when they used Takashi Hoshi's skills, but after their star power was depleted, they were dealt with by their opponents in one move. Number 44 to Arena 7. Please participate in the competition. Wang Lan stood up. Qiuqiu was a little resentful towards Wang Lan. Just now, I was careless and let this guy see everything. Although you didn't do it on purpose, I'm still unhappy. Hey, I curse you to have needle eyes. Although Qiuqiu hadn't said a word during this period, her mind was constantly thinking about what Wang Lan had seen. What did he look like? Was it a handsome guy or a wretched uncle behind that mask? No, it couldn't be a wretched uncle. He had such a good figure, he couldn't be an uncle without a big belly. But who said that an uncle must have a big belly? Aya, what should I do? It's so embarrassing. Qiuqiu, your man is coming down. What Qiuqiu's man? Qiuqiu belongs to us. Just one look at you, and I'm sure it's forever. At that time, who's playing that song? Turn it off. Qiuqiu isn't that kind of person. How can I be sure it's forever with just one look? Wang Lan's opponent this time was considered normal. She was a girl with a rather ancient style. She wore a chong sam with a slit, and her hair was combed into a bun. In her hand was a metal fan made of an unknown material. Wow, this big sister is so pretty, so straight, so long, so white. I like it so much. Wipe your drool. He's a Takashi Hoshi. Do you know that your thoughts are very dangerous? Little sister, actually, I also have the same thoughts. Just use your long legs to break my neck. I will leave this world with happiness. Suddenly, there was a burst of howling in the live stream. Begin. The girl on the other side smiled and slowly bent down. Please give me some pointers, little brother. Please. Wang Lan was just about to return the courtesy when he suddenly felt a warning in his heart. The moment the woman bent over, an arrow shot out from her collar. The sudden attack was so fast that it instantly reached Wang Lan's face. Without hesitation, Wang Lan drew Ghost Weep and cut in half. Wang Lan was infuriated. Wasn't this woman too despicable? Even though the match had already begun when the referee's whistle sounded, you first baited him into saluting before launching a sneak attack. Even if all's fair in war, how could you play this way? Just as he cut off the arrow on the woman's back, countless hidden weapons suddenly shot toward him from all directions. Suddenly, Wang Lan's heart trembled. The anger that had just risen was instantly suppressed. She's an expert. Almost instantly, Wang Lan determined that the girl in front of him was very strong. She was even the strongest among all the contestants he had seen so far. Of course, there were many crouching tigers and hidden dragons in the Takashi Hoshi tournament. It was just that their opponents were too weak to show them. After watching the first round, Wang Lan almost thought that his strength was enough to make it into the top 10. However, at this moment, Wang Lan immediately suppressed his fluttering heart. Don't get carried away. Be careful, or you won't even make it through the preliminaries. The lethality of hidden weapons was much lower than that of swords and knives. For the sake of concealment and surprise, hidden weapons were usually made very small. In terms of lethality, even if it hit the target, it wouldn't cause much damage. Therefore, in order to make up for the lethality of hidden weapons, they would usually be dipped in poison. Wang Lan heard from Huang Feilong that there was a type of hidden weapon expert among the Takashi Hoshi. Some of them were Takashi Hoshi masters who could control objects, while others walked the path of using poison. Takashi Hoshi masters who could control objects were very powerful and very few. Most of the Takashi Hoshi masters who could use hidden weapons were experts at using poison. The moment the hidden weapons above his head poured down like a rainstorm, Wang Lan's sword instantly turned into a huge fan to protect his body. Ding, ding, dang, dang. Damn, it's already a climax at the beginning. Gorgeous. What kind of Takashi Hoshi technique is this? It's as beautiful as the stage lights. Backstage, switch to ring 7. Close-up, quickly switch to a close-up. If the rhythm of the other matches was tight, then the 7th match was tight. If the fights in the other matches were intense, then ring 7 was so fast that the eyes couldn't keep up with it. This female Takashi Hoshi master looked like a gentlewoman from Jiangnan, but her attacks were extremely sharp. Moreover, Wang Lan couldn't figure out how she could hide so many hidden weapons. Even the sleeveless chi pao she was wearing didn't look like it could hide so many hidden weapons. Forget about the reign of hidden weapons. Their power was also terrifying. It was as if bullets from a machine gun were falling from the sky. If Wang Lan hadn't mastered the nebulous sword dance, he definitely wouldn't have been able to block this endless stream of hidden weapons. Dong, dong, dong. In a short while, Wang Lan's surroundings were filled with hidden weapons. However, the woman's hidden weapons didn't seem to have any intention of stopping. She pulled out a scroll from somewhere and slapped it with one hand. A layer of smoke exploded, and another bag of black hidden weapons appeared. There were steel needles, darts, flying knives, and all kinds of hidden weapons. F*CK. Isn't this cheating? It's not cheating. The Takashi Hoshi tournament is advertised as an actual combat competition. All combat skills can be used. Tools can be used except for soul orbs. Weapons can be used except for firearms. Portable spatial equipment doesn't violate the rules. If hidden weapons were her combat skills, she could use as many as she wanted. She's going to be defeated in one go. That masked Takashi Hoshi is actually very strong. His sword aura is stronger than yesterday's, and his attack and defense are both amazing. It's a pity that he met this non-human lady. Yeah, it's comparable to 10 people shooting Gatling guns. No one can withstand it, right? Is this lady's tentacle monster? How can she release so many hidden weapons in an instant? It's making my scalp tingle. So cool. The masked man's movements are graceful, like a colorful light on a stage. The lady is even more powerful and domineering. Even if the masked man's defense is impenetrable, it's not a long-term solution. The live broadcast rooms of all the streamers switched to the 7th arena. No matter how one looked at it, the 7th arena was more exciting and cool. The reign of hidden weapons lasted for a full 5 minutes. Under Wang Lan's impenetrable defense, they were all blocked. The area around Wang Lan was densely covered with all kinds of hidden weapons. Wang Lan stopped moving. The sword in his hand emitted a whistling sound, like the cry of a ghost in the middle of the night. The beauty opposite him panted slightly, and a smile bloomed on her face. Little brother, you're so strong. So far, no one has been able to survive my metal storm. However, you've already lost. Wang Lan was silent. He didn't know if the other party was bluffing or if he had unknowingly fallen into a trap. Although the previous battle was only a few minutes, Wang Lan felt like he had gone through a fierce battle. In these few short minutes, Wang Lan had actually undergone several transformations. In the training field, he hadn't completed the transformations when facing the biochemical demonic soldiers and ferocious exotic beasts, but he had actually completed them while dodging the hidden weapons. Let me tell you a secret. My innate talent, Takashi Hoshi, is magnetism control. As soon as she finished speaking, the beautiful Takashi Hoshi stomped her foot. A throwing knife on the ground suddenly shot up, whistling through the air as it shot towards Wang Lan's face. In an instant, Wang Lan's figure split into two. The hidden weapon passed through Wang Lan's body and shot into the distance. Doppelganger? No, it's an afterimage. Wang Lan's figure was like a sticky plaster, leaving afterimages as he flitted past, layer upon layer. His speed wasn't fast, but he left behind clear afterimages. Wang Lan executed the nebula dance. The instant he moved, the beautiful Takashi Hoshi's field of vision seemed to be filled with Wang Lan's figures. Damn, this is the quick sideways jump technique. So this masked man is also holding back a big move. Multiple shadow doppelganger technique? Isn't this too shocking? No, this is the A-rank Takashi Hoshi technique, nebulous sword dance. Suddenly, a bunch of golden words popped up in the live stream. Uncle Chin? Uncle Chin has appeared? Chochio, you posted it. Is Uncle Chin visiting your live stream? Uncle Chin was a up master, but at the same time, he was a legendary figure with an extremely mysterious background. No one knew his true identity, but they knew that he had an extraordinary understanding of the Takashi Hoshi world. He didn't do live streams, but only made videos. His videos were all about explaining the secrets of the Takashi Hoshi world to ordinary people, as well as introducing the strong Takashi Hoshi experts and some powerful Takashi Hoshi techniques. Uncle Chin had only posted 30 short popular science videos on a certain platform, but the number of his fans had reached an astonishing 30 million. Some people speculated that Uncle Chin might be a descendant of a certain Takashi Hoshi family. It was precisely because of his powerful background that he could so brazenly show the Takashi Hoshi world to ordinary people. Uncle Chin, what's the A-rank Takashi Hoshi technique? Uncle Chin, can you tell us the outcome of this competition? Yeah, Uncle Chin, since you're already here, why don't you leave something for us? Uncle Chin, leave something for us. I'll hire you as a concierge. Chochio, give me the mic. Uncle Chin's answer was very straightforward. With such a great god descending from the sky, Chochio didn't dare to hesitate and quickly passed the mic to Uncle Chin. Hello, everyone in Chochio's live stream room. I'm Uncle Chin. I don't like to be interrupted when I'm talking, and I don't like you guys spamming the bullet screen with dirty jokes. Otherwise, you'll all be muted. Back to the topic, what's the A-rank Takashi Hoshi technique? Let's start with the classification of Takashi Hoshi techniques in terms of power. Takashi Hoshi techniques are divided into 5 levels based on their power and the difficulty of learning them. D, C, B, A, and S levels. I won't go into the difference in power between these 5 levels because you won't be able to feel it even if I did. Let's just talk about who mainly uses the A-rank Takashi Hoshi technique. The A-rank Takashi Hoshi technique is known as a Takashi Hoshi technique. As the name suggests, it's a Takashi Hoshi technique that Nebula Takashi Hoshi technique generally possesses. It's also the most commonly used Takashi Hoshi technique in Nebula. Mastering 3 A-rank Takashi Hoshi techniques would make one a top-notch expert, even among Nebula Takashi Hoshi techniques. As for Nebula Takashi Hoshi technique, the lowest rank in the military is a captain. Peak Nebula stage powerhouses may be conferred the rank of captain or major. In a Wasteland Reclaimer army, a Nebula Takashi Hoshi technique could lead a 100-man Takashi Hoshi army on Wasteland Reclaimer missions. In other words, a Takashi Hoshi technique who possesses the A-rank Takashi Hoshi technique would at least be the commander of a Wasteland Reclaimer army and the backbone of the army. If a Takashi Hoshi technique of the same level faces an opponent who possesses a high-level Takashi Hoshi technique, the best way is to surrender. Chapter 65. Uncle Chin, are you saying that the masked man is from Nebula? No, Nebula wouldn't be able to participate in the Takashi Hoshi tournament. The platform is too small, and Nebula Takashi Hoshi wouldn't even bother to participate. The masked man is still a star blazing Takashi Hoshi. However, he has an A-rank Takashi Hoshi skill. But from the previous matches, the masked man didn't seem to have any advantage over the Cheongsam lady. Of course not. That Cheongsam lady isn't a nobody. If I'm not mistaken, she should be the Thousand Hand Guanyin, Lan Dai. Lan Dai is a peak Star Glory stage expert, and she has 2 A-rank Takashi Hoshi skills. The Thousand Hand Guanyin is her weapon throwing technique. With her hands, she can throw 30 hidden weapons with different trajectories. As for the other one, I didn't know about it before because Lan Dai's information wasn't detailed. But now it seems that it's her ability to control objects. Lan Dai is very famous in Kunming for pioneering. She's said to be an expert with the potential to reach the galaxy stage before the age of 35. But I didn't expect her to participate in the Takashi Hoshi tournament. Logically speaking, she should be pioneering in Kunming right now. Both of them are abnormal Star Glory Realm cultivators. That's why we're quite lucky to be able to watch a match of high quality in the preliminaries. The masked man seems to be in a passive position, but his movements aren't messed up at all, and he's dodging with ease. I originally thought that although Lan Dai's attacks are sharp, they can't last long. There was a limit to how many hidden weapons she had. Lan Dai either wins before she runs out of hidden weapons, or once she activates her Nebula Sword Art. It's hard to say who will win. But now that I see that Lan Dai can control hidden weapons, it's a completely different situation. For Lan Dai, her hidden weapons were limitless. The masked man is unlucky. With his strength, he should be able to get into the top 20. Unfortunately, he met such a strong opponent in the preliminaries. He might not even be able to participate in the official competition. Following Mr. Chen's commentary through the live streaming platform, the audience who were watching the show finally gained some insight. The moment Mr. Chen appeared, the number of viewers in Qiuqiu's live stream suddenly exploded. Several rounds of rockets flew past, attracting the viewers from the other live streams. All of a sudden, the viewership of the other streamers in the venue plummeted, while Qiuqiu's live stream room was exceptionally outstanding. If one had to choose a word to describe it, it would be that it outshone the others. It's exploding, it's exploding. Qiuqiu, your stream is lagging. Did you not charge for the 5G network? Is 4G not enough? Qiuqiu felt like crying. She was just a second-rate streamer in Sioux City. She had never thought that there would be a day when the number of viewers in her broadcast room would break through the 3 million mark. In the past, the best she had was only 100,000 viewers. I'll help you. You help me stabilize the internet. It's time for the decisive battle. Holy shit, 10,000 swords return to origin. On the screen, the battle between Wang Lan and Ms. Cheongsam had indeed reached its final stage. Ms. Cheongsam's innate skill was practically born for hidden weapons. Even Wang Lan felt that throwing hidden weapons earlier was a complete waste of time. If she had directly controlled objects, Wang Lan might not have been able to withstand the first wave. If he were to use the data system to analyze, Ms. Cheongsam's hidden weapon skill should have reached the silver level. She did not just throw out hidden weapons randomly. The rhythm, direction, coordination between the hidden weapons and the angle of attack were all perfect. Maybe the hidden weapon skill is used to paralyze the opponent. Thinking of this, Wang Lan could not help but break out in cold sweat. If Ms. Cheongsam had not reminded him that her Takashi Hoshi skill was magnetically controlled, Wang Lan rushed toward Ms. Cheongsam. The hidden weapons on the ground suddenly came to life and attacked him from behind. Wang Lan might be dead by now, right? He learned his lesson. After all, a competition was not a competition. Not being able to kill was a huge restriction for the real experts who fought on the battlefield. The sky was filled with hidden weapons like a dragon, moving in the dark sky like a locust swarm passing through. The momentum was turbulent. It was indeed like watching the audience in the live streaming room shouting 10,000 swords return to origin. At this moment, Wang Lan had successfully closed in to within 5 meters of Ms. Cheongsam. This range was only 5 or 6 steps away. It was a very dangerous distance. The sky full of swords suddenly fell, trying to stop Wang Lan from closing in again. The concrete floor on the ground could not withstand the attack of the hidden weapons and shattered. Arena number 7, which had been through dozens of battles, had not suffered as much damage as this one. Wang Lan's heart tightened. The Ms. Chong Sam's ability was very solid. If he could not even pass the preliminaries, wouldn't he have come for nothing? Open the system and add a point for me. In an instant, the Nebula Sword Dance that was originally Silver Level 5 was pushed to Silver Level 6, then Silver Level 7. The moment the Nebula Sword Dance was pushed to Silver Level 7, Wang Lan's eyes suddenly lit up. He had also comprehended a Takashi Hoshi skill hidden in the Nebula Sword Dance. Butterfly traversing flowers. Wang Lan's figure suddenly turned into an afterimage. In the sky full of hidden weapons, the space in the center of the battle suddenly seemed to distort. Vaguely, a butterfly spread its wings. Boom! The hidden weapons in the sky were suddenly blown away by the terrifying star power. Wang Lan's figure turned into a stream of light and attacked the Ms. Chong Sam in front of him. The Ms. Chong Sam's expression changed. She immediately controlled the hidden weapons in the sky, trying to weave a shield in front of her. But at the moment the shield was formed, boom, with a loud bang, Wang Lan's figure turned into a flowing cloud and crashed into the shield of hidden weapons. The terrifying power instantly exploded, and the shield was like a dam that had been destroyed by a huge wave, exploding with a loud bang. The Ms. Chong Sam's beautiful eyes were slightly stunned. In the distorted vision in front of her, a butterfly spread its wings and disappeared. When her vision froze, a figure appeared in front of her. The ghost weep in his hand was placed at the Ms. Chong Sam's throat. Crack! With a green sound, the mask on Wang Lan's face was unable to withstand the terrifying explosion of spirit power. Countless cracks instantly appeared. I've lost. The woman's voice was low but gentle. The young voice was like a sharp arrow that pierced Wang Lan's heart. Actually, I've lost. If you hadn't told me that you were a Magnetron Takashi Hoshi, I would have been a corpse by now. Thank you for showing mercy. No need to thank me. This is a competition. I can't kill. I can't kill. I can only remind you. If you wanted to use a hidden killing move on me, you would also remind me, right? It's fair. Arena number 7, number 44, victory. Wang Lan silently turned around. Wait, what's your name? The Ms. Chong Sam suddenly asked. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. You're very strong. I hope you can return to the battlefield in the future. This place doesn't belong to you. I will. Wang Lan didn't explain and responded lightly. Wang Lan left, but the comment section in the live broadcast room exploded. This was the most exciting competition they had seen so far, and they even forgot to breathe. Whether it was Wang Lan or the Ms. Chong Sam, they didn't hold back at all. There was only one goal in each of their actions, and that was to defeat the other. The high frequency of fighting, the fast dodging scenes, and every change of move provoked the nerves of all the spectators. This was a feast for the eyes, and also an eruption of the blood of the battle. It was difficult for ordinary people to have the opportunity to see a Takashi Hoshi fight. Every time a Takashi Hoshi needed to fight, the first thing to do was to clear the place and isolate it. Although there were many Takashi Hoshi fighting scenes in movies and TV, in order to make the fighting more exciting and pleasing to the eye, all the skills and fighting scenes were written with the guidance of Takashi Hoshi. Although it was beautiful, it lost the sense of reality. In the words of the netizens, the protagonist couldn't die no matter how he was beaten. Even if he was in a desperate situation, he could make a comeback. But what was the real situation? No one was the protagonist. The whole world was a furnace, and anyone could die, and anyone could die. In a real battle, there was no need to catch one's breath, no need to relax. There was only one situation where one could relax, and that was when the battle was completely over. In less than 10 minutes of battle, how many times had they danced with the Grim Reaper? Who could enjoy the pleasure of dancing on a stage where hidden weapons rain down like rain? Who could bear the gentleness of a sword's aura brushing past their face? Every frame of that intense battle left a deep impression in the eyes of the audience. The live broadcast room fell into a short silence, which lasted for about 10 seconds. Who would have thought that a showdown of such high quality would actually take place in a preliminary round? Fortunately, this is only a preliminary round and won't be broadcasted. Otherwise, even the official competition would be overshadowed by this match. Finally, Master Chin's words broke the silence in the live broadcast room. Holy sh**t. Holy sh**t. What the f***ck? You're telling me this is a preliminary round? I feel like I'm watching the finals of this season's Takashi Hoshi tournament. Who is this masked man? Who is that beautiful Cheongsam girl? Even a newbie like me, who doesn't know anything, saw a close brush with death more than 10 times. Can someone tell me if they're real? Are you sure this isn't a stunt? They'll really die, right? Come on, bro who said he's a stunt. Let's try out this stunt. You don't need to do anything else. I'll throw a few hundred frying pans at you from the 20th floor, and you'll be able to dodge them unscathed. If you're hit, you'll definitely die, but you won't be hit, right? We're all Takashi Hoshi, and we know what we're doing. I'm sure we can do this. Anyway, I'm going to go visit the grave of that bro who did the same dangerous stunt as me last time. In order to take care of his wife and daughter, I didn't have time to weed his grave. They're already waist high. The one above, you killed your bro because you lusted after his wife and daughter's beauty, right? Open the door. The community sends warmth. Look, it took me 30 seconds to cut a frame at 10 times the speed. Let's enjoy it. In the picture, 6 hidden weapons simultaneously strangled Wang Lan from different angles, and Wang Lan's body twisted to dodge the attacks of the 6 hidden weapons at the same time. It was just a flash of the picture, but it could be a fraction of a second on the battlefield. Who knew how many such moments there were in the whole battle? He didn't dare to think about it. His scalp instantly went numb as he imagined it. F***ck. Is he still human? In a fraction of a second, he calculated the angle and time of the hidden weapons and made a precise dodging operation like a precision machine. How terrifying is his control over his body? The one above is in the mechanical processing business, but I have to say, in a sense, the control over the body is the control over star power. Obviously, the Takashi Hoshi technique used by the masked man is a Takashi Hoshi technique that can change the form of star power. And this kind of Takashi Hoshi technique requires precise control over star power to master it, not to mention mastering it successfully. To be able to use a Takashi Hoshi technique that can change the form of the technique, one's control over the body should have reached this level. The one above is right. Sit down, it's basic. Basic my ass. Do you think I'm not a Takashi Hoshi? With this level of control, even if it doesn't reach the theoretical perfect fusion ratio of 1:1, it's infinitely close. If it's within 5 points, it's already a big shot to increase it by 1 point. If it's within 3 points, it's definitely at the level of a god. The big shots operation is as dazzling as a painting. I wanted to praise him with a poem, but I'm uncultured. When Wang Lan returned to the stands, the announcement that Hu Qing was on the stage sounded. Hu Qing only had time to congratulate Wang Lan before leaving in a hurry. Qiuqiu, the god is sitting in front of you. What do you think? I have a suggestion for you. I have a plan for your suggestion. I have a key point for your plan. I have a F***ck. I can't make it up anymore. Chapter 66. All in all, Qiuqiu, go ahead and have a romantic encounter with the guru. It's best if you can get the guru's name, age, identity, and gender out of him. Wait, what do you mean by getting Qiuqiu's gender out of him? Could it be that you... Qiuqiu's face was flushed red from the comments of the netizens, and her heart was thumping wildly. According to Mr. Qin, the powerful man in front of her was definitely a genius, even among the Takashi Hoshi players. Although he was participating in the Takashi Hoshi tournament, his future was definitely different from all the other participants of the Takashi Hoshi tournament. Perhaps this was why he chose to participate anonymously. He was here to train himself. A Takashi Hoshi like this was an irresistible temptation for a girl like Chiyochiyo, who was destined to be an ordinary person for the rest of her life. Not to mention what would happen in the future. Even if they could become friends, that would be great. How honorable would it be to have a Takashi Hoshi as a friend? Moreover, this was a godsend opportunity. If she didn't strike up a conversation with him, would Chiyochiyo still have the face to show her face in the future? May the netizens give her courage. She cheered silently in her heart, stood up, and walked slowly toward Wang Lan. Wang Lan lowered his head, still thinking about the woman he had just fought. According to Hu Qing, a woman of her ability wouldn't want to participate in a sensationalist show like the Takashi Hoshi tournament. If there wasn't another reason, then she would. Hu Qing wanted to raise money for his sister's treatment. Why was she doing this? Although she threw her hidden weapons lavishly, Wang Lan saw that she collected all of them in the end. She even secretly took some of the metal from the Sioux City Sports Hall. That, big brother, can I sit here? Chiyochiyo carefully walked to Wang Lan and asked softly. Ah, you can. Yeah, I know you, Wang Lan said after seeing Chiyochiyo's face. Ah, you know me? Chiyochiyo looked as if she had been bathed in holy light, and her face was filled with surprise. Yes, you're the host of Jingyu, right? You're... Chiyochiyo, my name is Chiyochiyo. Wah, Chiyochiyo is about to fall. Quick, someone give Chiyochiyo a shot of tranquilizer. Chiyochiyo, you're already a mature streamer. This is a common method of flirting with girls. You must stay calm. You must stay calm. I think Chiyochiyo is going to stop broadcasting tonight. Sob, sob, sob. My Chiyochiyo, after hearing this conversation, the live stream instantly exploded. Not a single word of these warnings or reminders could enter Chiyochiyo's mind. Chiyochiyo had a bashful look on her face as she lowered her head and fiddled with her skirt. Have you watched my live stream too? No, I remember seeing you not long ago. You were about to enter Xiangding Bay for a live stream or something, but you were stopped by the guards and couldn't even enter, couldn't even get through the door, couldn't get through. Chiyochiyo's expression instantly froze. There was dead silence in the live stream. Ha ha. In an instant, the bullet screen exploded. Is this guy serious? Chiyochiyo's wound is so deep. Chiyochiyo, my condolences. Ha ha. This guy probably doesn't have any friends, right? I don't know if he has any friends, but he definitely doesn't have a girlfriend. No girl can stand a straight man like him. Don't be angry, don't be angry. Chiyochiyo, you're a mature streamer now. You can't be angry. Big brother, thank you for today's exciting competition. Can you say hello to my viewers in the live stream? Ah, is that okay? Hello, everyone in the Chiyochiyo live stream. I'm contestant number 44, asterisk, asterisk. Wait, Wang Lan suddenly paused. Didn't they say that the preliminaries aren't live streamed? It's just that the officials don't live stream, but small-time streamers like us can still live stream. I remember that non-contestants can't come in. How did you get in? The conversation ended again. Chiyochiyo silently gave Wang Lan a close-up of his mask, then excused herself and left. If she stayed any longer, Chiyochiyo might get a cerebral hemorrhage from anger. Forget it. I'd better live stream properly. It's normal that there aren't many Takashi Hoshi players. At noon, the end of the second round was announced. Hu Qing and Wang Lan successfully entered the third round, the final preliminaries of the top 100. You've successfully entered the third round of preliminaries. You're rewarded with 800 experience points and 80 skill points. Previously, he had put all his skill points into the Nebula Sword Dance. His skill points were now empty. These 80 skill points eased Wang Lan's anxiety about not having enough skill points. Director Min, the HD schedule of Little Wolf and Lan Dai's matches has been edited. When will it be released? After the morning's competition ended, the backstage immediately did an emergency editing to ensure that the most realistic, clear, and exciting scenes were replaced with the best perspective. On Min Jian's desk, the screen of Wang Lan and Lan Dai's fight was playing. Every frame was a soul-stirring scene. Even Min Jian watched it with relish. Director Min, you've already gotten it. Yes. Look, it's so exciting and beautiful. What kind of effect would this have if it was in the official competition? I'm now regretting putting this in the preliminaries. Director Min, the contestants in the official competition are also very strong. In the second round, we've discovered more than 10 strong players. Their abilities are not below Little Wolf's. When the official competition begins, there will definitely be another high-quality match like this. I hope so. God knows how much pressure I'm under take on this show. This video will be our weapon to change the show's reputation. But don't release it too soon. Let's wait for it to spread on the internet and whet their appetite. Director Min, thank you for your hard work. Should we also arrange an opponent for Little Wolf in the third round? We can focus on building up Little Wolf and let him become popular before the competition starts. Then, he can drive the official competition. No need. One match is enough. If the preliminaries are all so exciting, the official competition will be overshadowed. Understood. A match like the one between Wang Lan and Lan Dai was rare. Even if it was still the two of them, there might not be such a high-level match again. After watching that match, all the other matches were plain soup noodles. Even if it was the third round of the top 100, even if it was Wang Lan's turn. The audience was looking forward to a fierce battle to their heart's content. But Wang Lan performed a 10-second KO. The live streamers were fine. They were just the eyes of the audience. But on the internet, the idiotic netizens watching this match were thirsty. Here comes the key. Welcome to the second episode of the Masked Idol Takashi Hoshi competition. Both contestants are on stage. Don't blink. The match is about to end. Don't ask me why I said the match is over. I swear, I didn't even blink. Short and weak. Is it because the opponent isn't a pretty girl? In the last match, you played for 10 minutes. In this match, you only played for 10 seconds. 5 seconds were wasted. In any case, although they were criticizing Wang Lan for ending the match so quickly, they were actually focused on Takashi Hoshi. What are you doing here if you're so weak? Are you wasting time? You've passed the preliminaries. You've been awarded 1,500 experience points. You've been awarded 150 experience points when the venue announced the official competition list. Wang Lan's system reward also arrived. According to the system, he was still less than half away from reaching Starlight Level 4. If his advancement went smoothly, he should be able to successfully advance to Starlight Level 4 after this competition. Welcome home, Wang Lan classmate. Xiao AI classmate. Make me a cup of coffee. Okay, Xiao AI classmate. Can you help me find out who the girl I fought with today was? Wang Lan sat on the sofa and recalled the scene of today's battle. Wang Lan didn't expect that the first time he completely overcame his fear of death would be in a match. Wang Lan couldn't believe it. Although he could face death before, he couldn't overcome it. Only Wang Lan could not be controlled by the fear of death and fall into paralysis. The real way to overcome the fear of death was to be able to enter a state of complete calmness in the face of danger and not be disturbed by external factors. In the beginning, when facing the rain of concealed weapons, Wang Lan didn't feel fear and didn't fall into a state of calmness. However, when he saw the girls in different eyes, Wang Lan was suddenly shocked by her eyes. Her eyes were emotionless, just like an ice-cold machine. Before, she clearly wasn't like this. Wang Lan tried to abandon his emotions and thoughts, and found that the effect was surprisingly good. His thinking ability, body coordination, and even his reaction speed became faster. Wang Lan named this state of calmness during wartime sage time. Wang Lan classmate, I found her. Her name is Lan Dai, 28 years old this year. Last year, she was the leader of a wasteland reclamation corps with 12 people under her. Last year, she was severely injured after exploring a variant secret realm. Out of the 13 people in the team, she was the only one who survived. What's even stranger is that she contracted a phobia. Even seeing red paint will make her lose her mind, so she chose to withdraw from the Wasteland Reclamation Corps. She alone chose to take care of the families of the 12 people who died in battle. In the past year, she had 4 jobs at the same time, 2 full-time jobs and 2 part-time jobs. Why did she have to bear the burden of the 12 families? Don't her subordinates have any pension from the government? Yes. Londi probably thinks that she caused the deaths of her team members. Rather than saying that she had to bear the burden of the 12 families, it's more like she was punishing herself. Understood. After taking a shower, he went to bed. The official match was in 3 days. The 100 official contestants would go through 50 rounds of advancement. There would be 10 matches in an hour and a half. The first round alone would be broadcasted for 5 days. Wanlan's match was the 3rd match on the 3rd day of the official match. This was known many days in advance. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.